And we're here. Holy crap. First off, audio check. Can everyone hear us? Everyone who's in chat right
It
now.
is.
Testing, testing.
We got about a 6 second delay on this one, so.
Hello.
Da, 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 da,
Afternoon,
da,
everyone.
da, 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 da.
Or evening, I should say.
Time is an illusion. It's fine.
Time's a weird
Time is
soup.
a weird soup.
Time is a weird soup.
Time is an illusion. Space is a curve. Everything is not what it seems.
Wibbly wobbly, timey
Timey
wimey.
wimey.
I think I can hear everyone. Yes. Good, 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 good. And you can see us because I can see that. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Dinner and a Game. And welcome to what is hopefully going to be an alternating Friday game. We are going to be doing this on the alternate Fridays. And then the amazing Ivy Shadow, Game Raider Girl, is going to be starting her D&D campaign on the opposite Fridays from this. So every Friday night, there's going to be content. And it's going to be going back and forth between which content you're going to be seeing. So, in the meantime, what we're doing tonight is we have pretty much mostly made characters, I think. And what we're looking at now is we're going to do, we're going to kind of do an example session 0 for folks. We did a checklist already to see what everyone was okay with and where we can set thresholds and where everyone's comfort is, so that we do not have to go that much over that. But for everyone else, who is new to gaming or just getting into gaming, we basically have a checklist that we got out. It was originally put up by Monty Cook Games, and I just used that one. Some people have tailored it more specifically to their type of games, but I just use a generic one, and it just basically is a checklist. It's got red, green, green, yellow, red light, and it just indicates your comfort level with certain scenes or certain depictions or certain items that may be brought up. Like, I think one of the ones that everyone is really okay with skipping is, SA. For those who might be triggered, sorry, sexual assault. But that is like right across the board. So we didn't have a problem with, making sure that never appears in our games. Not that I ever want it in any games, but there are some people who do gritty stuff, and that's up to them. But as long as you're looking and talking to your players and getting consent and everyone understands, your game is your game. You do what you like. So, in the meantime, we've already done those checklists, and what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be building out some character background, finishing up everyone's characters who's not complete with them yet, doing out some character backgrounds and getting some links between the characters to establish some basic backstory to try and get some plot points possibly for leading out the game with. Tonight's game is going to be Firefly. Technically, unfortunately, this is a dead game. This game was originally produced by Weiss and Hickman Productions, and it is based off the Cortex system, which is quickly turning into one of my favorite systems because it is very well themed along cinematic versus mechanical process. And so I like it a lot. We're going to be building off of it. Now, while we're all doing the talking and chatting and talking about stuff like this, I'm also going to be finishing off making the layout because oh, someone did something somewhere. Oh, hi. Thank you very much for Rosemine96 for the follow. We really appreciate it. We are, of course, going to be doing a lot of things on this show that are going to be related to everyone here. One of the things we're doing is everyone on this stream, except for one person, is some kind of content creator. And we have some amazing people that have come in with it. And the only person who doesn't do social media is Jonathan. But Jonathan is like one of the very first daggers from when we started out as a podcast back in 2018. And so Jonathan's got the chops, and we love having him in our games. Everyone else here is, some of you may know them from shows that you watch that they're on or produce. So let's go ahead and introduce everyone. And if you want to, you can start actually telling people about who you're playing. I'm just going to go around the circle as I see it on my screen for the stream. So I'm going to start with Corey because he's directly to my right.
Hi, Corey, the hipster Viking. I am going to be playing Clayton McCoy, Not sure what else you want from me. You can find me on TikTok, I guess. I don't know.
No, pretty much that was. Oh, I forgot. I typed in. I forgot what your nickname was.
That's fine. We've known each other for several years.
Yes.
That's fair.
But basically, what I'm looking for is like kind of like what you do, what your main to do on the internet is. Like I think your main thing is TikTok, correct?
Primarily, yes.
Thank you very much for the follow, Wicked Rune 83. We really appreciate it. And you can find Corey on TikTok. You'll be able to find him here on every, alternating Friday nights. And there is not a lot of background yet we've done on the characters. Corey, you gave me a little write-up on your character earlier.
Yeah.
But everyone is still kind of in the process of composing. Oh, wow. Thank you for Carver the Bruja. Thank you very much for following. So let's move on to the next person in the circle of truth, which is Lissa. Hi, how you doing, Lissa?
Hi. Also, the circle of truth.
The circle of truth. I was worried you were gonna do something worse, like Nico.
Nico. Nico, Nico, Nico.
There'll be plenty of time for that.
Yeah, just leave it.
So I'm playing Mariana Redfield, who is the captain, and I do a lot of things. There are a lot of things I do. You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitch. I'm the producer for a YouTube channel. Like, my poor link tree has a bunch of fucking links on it because not only am I on this show, I am on 2 other tabletop streams as well. I'm on Bros and Dragons on twitch.tv/nerdworksmedia, and that is also a podcast that you can find on Spotify. And I am also on Windermere Falls, which is on the Dead Bard Society's Twitch channel. And we've got
for a stream.
It's a fun game. I'm loving those games. I apparently cannot keep my D&D characters from getting in relationships.
As people have said 1,000 times now, if you don't come into TTRPGs to flirt with your friends, then why are you here?
It's true.
It is just a way of things. We all love each other very much. And this is a way for us to express that love in a very safe fashion.
Look, as long as you're respectfully simping for your friends and there's consent, that's what matters.
And everyone may notice that when I get these things built out, I'm going to be using their handles also instead of their names, mainly because I want to be able to help promote these people because they're doing me a huge favor by coming on this show and helping us provide content for you guys. And I want them to get the most out of this so they can get some other people to hopefully follow their stuff. Because as I said, the big thing is the best thing you can do for any content creator is just give them a follow. Subs are great. It's all wonderful. But if we don't have followers, we don't have any reason to really be here. And that's what we really want to do is have that confirmation that our work means something to you guys. So if you can give them a follow, just please do. I think this should work now. There we go. And I got Lista's information in chat. Let's keep on going around the corner. And then Kel, how are you doing?
And not too bad. I'm Kellen, also known as the Celtic Wyvern King, here on Twitch, TikTok. Most things I plan on using, that's pretty much what I'm going to go by. Trying to do more stuff on TikTok and Twitch. I need to get a regular schedule going, but with training new people at work, that's been a little difficult.
Yep.
I got 2 new people.
Yep.
I got 2 new people I'm training.
Yeah, and also, Dinner New Game has one rule for everyone who is involved, and that is real life comes first. So if we ever have evenings where people can't make it, you might see empty windows. If we have enough people call off, usually we'll just, not have the show tonight or do something like play Jackbox instead. And get you guys involved in the Jackbox too. But, Kel, who are you playing in this game?
I'm going to be playing as Mitchell Bates, or as he'll become known until he reveals that for the most part, Stephen Knight, a former Alliance turned Browncoat spy.
Gotcha. Excellent. Thank you very much. Jonathan, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Excellent. You're the only person I don't have to worry about typing in a command for. So, Jonathan, who are you playing tonight?
I am going to be playing the ship's pilot, who has been flying around at the end of this war, and we'll get to see what's going on when we get there.
Yep, we'll see. We'll see what happens when you try to fly through this combat zone. It'll be fine. Everything will be fine.
I won't be saying one specific phrase. I'm just saying.
That? I am a leaf on the.
I'm trying not to die in session 1.
For anyone wondering, I'm the ship's doctor. I failed to mention that.
You did fail to mention that.
The ship's doctor.
Yes. Well, at least you're not as bad as the ship's doctor we had in our first stream session, who was a morphine addict. Yeah, it was great. My wife just yelled from the bedroom, "Hey!" Because that was her character. And finally, Oz, how are you doing?
Good. It's very great to be here. I'm very excited.
Excellent.
Hi, I'm Az. I'm going to be playing Natha Vesk, the ship's mechanic, who is currently, when we start off, with the Alliance.
And what's the most horrible part about this? How many assignments have you been on?
Oh yeah, this is this first assignment. I did this to get towards the core planets and got sent right back home.
As usual.
As one does.
Yeah.
So, basically, like I said, the mechanics of building the characters have been taken care of. Or actually, let me double check that, because I've been busy with getting the stream set up for going. Is everyone done with their mechanics, or does anyone need to go over anything else for building character?
I think I'm good.
I haven't spent my final 5 points because I kind of wanted to get a feel of where we're going with other people, so I can synergize a little bit, or not do anything crazy.
Yeah, you don't.
How do we do those? Because obviously I used an archetype, so.
Yeah, that's a nice thing. You still have 9 points to spend in the archetype.
Do I?
Yeah, it's 9, right, Jonathan?
Oh, I pretty much know where I want to spend those. I meant the last 5. They're like your assets and specialties.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Alyssa,
well,
you have 9 points to spend to up
skills,
your dice and your skills. Yeah.
Well, when you say use the archetype, did you copy it 100%, including where their skills were at?
Yeah.
Okay, then that would include the 9. Then if you copied all their skills, like let's say they had skill at D10, you put that as a D10.
None of them on this one are a D10. There are 2 that are a D8s, and then the rest are 4s or 6s.
Okay, then yeah, they probably didn't use. Okay.
Yeah, it actually says at the end of in the section of the book where it has the archetypes, as you get to the next section, which is doing the customizing characters, it says that after you take your archetype and put everything on the sheet, then you have 9 more points to spend on skills. And basically, is it 1-for-1 on dice pops?
Yeah,
It is as long as you already had a dice upgrade in it. If it's a D4 still, it costs more to upgrade. But if it's got anything else other than a D4 in it right now, it's a 1-for-1 to upgrade.
Yeah, for instance, if it's in your highlight skills based on your distinctions, it's 1-for-1. If it is not a highlight skill, it's 2-for-1.
So, and basically, the way this game works is it is a dice pool system. So you have a trait. You have skills, but then you have 2 other categories of items you can add dice into your dice pool with. Those are things called distinctions, which are you have 3 different distinctions you can have on your character, and those 3 distinctions are picked at the beginning of the game, and those distinctions are basically utilized by story beats from your backgrounds you built out. Lissa took a actual pre-built archetype, which means that almost all of her skills are picked out. She's got her distinctions picked out, and I think the only thing you really had to choose, other than the 9 extra points, is did it have your assets too? Your signature assets on there too?
It had a couple that I could choose from. I don't know where the hell on the character sheet I'm supposed to put the distinctions and whatnot.
I'll say, I would say on the right hand side, like on the first page, like it was like a 3-page file that Ray gave us. On the first page of your actual character sheet, like where you put your name and the skills, on the right hand side, you're going to see 3 boxes.
3d8s.
Yeah, that's where you write your distinctions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It
And the
says
nice thing
distinction
is-
like in very light gray along the edge
it's
on
very
the
faint.
left side. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah, it's
trigger
all
it. Yeah, there
sideways.
you go.
It threw me off too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No wonder I didn't see it.
The spot with the D8 and the check boxes. That's a.
I was guessing. I was blind and did not see it.
Well, I mean, it's very small type.
It is.
Okay.
I
Are
wear
you
glasses,
all
I almost
using
didn't see it.
digital?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Paper.
Look,
I
my
gotta- I
printer
gotta
likes
have
to be
paper.
a little shit, and I don't trust it. So
What's
I
this
put it
little-
in
Oh,
Google Drive.
Oh, I don't blame anybody at all. I'm probably going to doing a digital one. Problem is, this little computer is not going to want to run both.
Oh, come on.
Could use
Oh,
your phone.
this.
So I threw up a sample character sheet up in the screen.
There
real
we are.
quick, and you guys can see there's 3 traits: mental, physical, social. Very generic. So, but also very obvious. You can, when you're doing something, you'll choose a trait, which is either mental, physical, social, and then they have all those skills listed there. And when you choose distinctions, each distinction has several skills listed under it. And you can see that each one of the skills has a dice beside it, and that dice is equal to what the starting dice you add to the dice pool is. If you do not have any training in the skill, you can always roll a d4, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And what that means, though, is this is a dice pool system, so there are successes, and then there are failures, which are 1s. If you roll a 1 on a die, it does not count towards your total for your dice pool when you add all the dice up, and it actually causes complications to the scene. So rolling a 4 means you have a 1 in 4 chance of getting a 1. So, Lissa, if you want to go ahead and you spend out those 9 points, the D4s, if anything doesn't have a skill in it, it costs 2 to put the first D4 in it, and then after that, it has 1. It's 2 points per up, Jonathan.
I think that's right. Somebody else said the cost. It wasn't me.
If it's a highlight skill, it's 1 for 1. If it's not a highlight skill, it's 2 for 1. Because like one of my skills that was not highlighted that I ended up leveling up. Hold on. Here, let me zoom in because tiny print.
Teeny tiny prints.
Because pretty sure. Yeah, like drive was not one of my highlight skills.
Does
But I spent
anyone
2
have
points
drive
to up
as a
it.
skill, or if we have a mule, is it just going to constantly crash?
So
Well, I bumped mine up to a 6. So at least we're good there.
mine is at a 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so someone has some skills in that.
Yeah.
We had some
Yeah,
problems
no.
with that in the last game.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I specifically made sure I bumped up drive just in case and made a specialty land speeders.
So you said for if it's one that's just at a D4, it costs 2 points.
Yes, if you do not
Yeah.
have it as one of the skills that are listed in your distinctions, it costs 2 points to put a 6 in it, and then 2 points per dot after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's in your distinction, if it's a skill in your distinction list, it's just
1
1
for
for 1. Think of it like Pathfinder or 3.5. Same concept.
I've only played one 3.5 game, and I've never played Pathfinder. So
Oh.
this does not help me.
My bad.
So, Jonathan, you gave me some general backgrounds about your character.
Oh yeah, I never sent you my background stuff.
I know. So a lot of the background you gave me was around where you were currently at. Not currently at, but where you came from. Do you have any idea of where your character currently is?
Oh yeah, I fly in ships right now for the Independence. So I'm I am the designated pilot of the vessel I'm on, and I go where the ship goes. I fly the missions that the ship is assigned. I didn't make any specifications for what kind of ship it was or what its current mission was, because I think there's a good chance that ends up being the ship we eventually get, and I didn't want to like pigeonhole everyone into like being stuck with the ship I created. Although if nobody wants to have to do ship design, I will happily create a ship, and you guys can just be shoehorned into the ship I was flying.
Shoehorned in.
But I didn't want to make it be that way. That just seemed kind of wrong. So I was trying to leave the ship itself a little more vague.
Gotcha. And there is always a good thing for leaving vagaries, because it gives me more fuel to help light you on fire with. I mean, to help create story with. So everything is better if you leave things slightly vague. It's fine. Everything.
Okay. And you said you were giving us 5 extra points for
Yes.
like doing all the things?
Yes.
Okay.
5 extra points are for more ups for skills. And they're not actually points. You can use, you basically for, because you already gave me basically pictures of you in cosplay. And so that's like 1 point. Creating a, and these are things I do for all my games, folks. But so creating a art of some kind, either drawing, doing a cosplay, something like that, that is 1 point. We have 1 point for creating a playlist. The playlist is based around either influences that helped you think and create the character, or a playlist that the character will listen to. Then you have a we have a 40 question little thing that we do. It's built to be kind of universal, so it has some questions that don't pertain to sci-fi, and it has some questions that don't pertain to fantasy, so you just skip those. So it usually boils down to like 25, 30 questions at most. They're just about the character in general, personality types, backgrounds, how they would react to certain situations. And so it gives it, number one, it's there to help people get a good handle on how they want to build their character out personality-wise. And number two, it gives me an insight into what you are thinking with your character, so I can help keep your character, so I can help build story around that personality type. The next thing about it is, let's see, those 20 questions, and then the last 1 pointer is art 20 questions playlist. No, that's it. And then there's 2 points for doing a written background. The written background is, I'm not asking for 6 pages of written background. Corey, the stuff you sent me, that's fine for a written background. If you expand on it, that's great. But
I didn't want to send you a 3,000 word background like I did to my other DM about to start with.
I
felt that'd be too much.
I don't mind at all. And so that gets you a grand total of 5 points, and those points can be spent 1 for 1 on any skill. So it doesn't matter if it's on your list. That's the bonus for it.
So, how many am I looking at currently? Cosplay, background.
I give them all to you in the beginning as long as you get it to me eventually.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I
must say,
because I'm definitely doing them all. I just haven't gotten to all of it yet.
All thing I missing is the cosplay. I just sent you on Discord the backstory playlist and 40 questions.
Done.
Yeah, that's not what my character's gonna be wearing though.
I know.
I've got to get a wig for my character.
Corey.
He has black hair. I have no hair. I don't have a black wig currently, so I've got to get a black
constantly
wig.
dye your beard or something?
Oh, eyeshadow, man. Black eyeshadow.
You're not going to do that every game, are you?
Oh, I will do that as often as I feel it's appropriate. Hey, man, I have the whole day off. It takes about 30 minutes for me to properly apply it. It'll be fine.
Ray. Yeah. I have literally painted myself blue for streams.
I know. Before. I saw it. I'm not doubting it at all.
That is a level of commitment that I could never do.
Dude, that shit takes 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for PX by Night game, the latex for my Nosferatu character.
See, I still have some scar putty makeup left over from when I was taking stage makeup back in college. It's just scar putty's a pain in the ass.
Scar putty really is a bitch.
Oh, try being allergic to latex.
Hi.
I can't use any of it. Yeah, right?
Hi.
Right? You have to figure out
all of my elf ears are latex free.
My 2 ears are silicone. I have
Yeah, mine are
elf,
the
and then I
silicone
have what
ones
I've
too.
modified for orc. Yeah, they're silicone, and they are much more expensive than the latex
Of
ones.
course.
They're actually the ones I got are the Eridani ones, and they weren't that much more expensive.
Send me a link to that when you can, because I need
Yeah,
more from
if you've ever been to the Renfest,
Mhm.
the Elfier distributor that's at most Renfest,
At most of them. Okay, then yeah.
it's that brand.
Okay, cool.
I need to go to a Ren Fair.
Oh God, Ren fairs.
I'm going to one next week.
Lucky.
Ours doesn't
No,
happen
no,
till
it's the
September.
first one for the area that I live in. It's never gone on before, and given Ray knows, given where I live, how do you expect that to go? Poorly.
So you will be able to get medieval weapons. You'll be able to get turkey legs, and you'll be able to get meth.
That last one's going to be in the parking lot only. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but it's also one of those, and not in any particular order.
Living
Yeah.
in the general Houston area, you could say that about any parking lot. So
Yeah.
I can say the same thing about where I'm at here in North Carolina.
That's true.
Granted, it's
So-
more likely heroin as well, but still.
Okay, so let's do a show of hands. How many people are currently, actively, still Alliance at the start of our story? So it's just Oz? Oh no, you are too? That's right. All right.
Yeah.
So, and we have one former who is already fully in the Browncoats.
Spy.
And we have. Did we say that you had a certain plot point that you were doing for your background? Did you decide you were going to have that happen before the game started? Like you had already been extracted?
No, I remember we were talking about possibly doing that during.
But yeah, I was leaving that up to you, so I was waiting to see if what you wanted to do.
So I thought, okay, my bad. I thought we were going to talk battle more, and it must have my mind. Now I'm cool with it doing during the battle. That make it even more so because like the whole part of him being extracted was like, okay, new name change, time to get rid of Mitchell. So what better than during one of the bloodiest battles of the war?
Yeah.
It's okay. We're all gonna have to get nicknames, and by all of us, I mean those of us who are in trouble.
In trouble. Yeah. And I love how you refer to them as nicknames, Oz. It's a new identity is what you're looking for.
yeah, it's an alias
there's-
because we're on the run.
Gotta say,
Hey,
there's
let's go
no
be
new
bad guys.
identity here. It's just a different name. There's no paperwork. I'm just using a different name.
Oh no,
There's
I'm
no ID
at least
anymore.
getting set up with new ID cards. Thankfully, it's the way I was writing it.
But the
I don't have time.
I shot the link to you, Corey.
Thank you, hon.
There you go.
You're welcome.
So
Yeah, no, I also have a latex allergy. Found that one out the hard way.
yeah, Twitch's nutters for
Me, it
ads.
was rubber masks.
So, one other thing. Let me bring this up real quick. For everyone who just followed us, I have a announcement for you guys. At Dinner in a Game, we try and help promote our show by doing giveaways. Right now on Twitch, we have a contest going. That contest is trying to get us to 1,000 followers on Twitch. Thanks to you guys, we just hit 700 and where'd it go? Oh, there it is.
It was showing 37 on the.
740.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So now we're at 740 followers, and what that means is this. When we get to 1,000 followers, this set of D&D books is going to be given away to one of our followers. Now, the cool thing about this set is that it's not a standard set of D&D books. It comes with the Player's Handbook, the Monstrous Manual, the DMG, plus you have that GM screen. It comes in that slipcase. But this is the foil embossed covers, so they're shiny, they're sparkly, and they look different from the standard books. So if you make this your primary set of books that you take to the game store, you will not have to write your name on the edge of the books in Sharpie, because your books will not look like anyone else's books. And like I said, we're going to give this away. We hit 1,000. We're at 740. We've been doing really, really well with growing our follower count, so we really, really hope you guys stick around. And when we get to that point, we're going to be giving that away. So thank you for that, guys. It's really nice. Also, just as an aside, we have one other thing that we do, and that is on our TikTok. We have another giveaway we're doing over there. That giveaway is for this, and this. Oh, this is going to be really big. I got to shrink it down.
The Wizard Tower?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I think the thing just looks beautiful.
I am an avid printer of 3D things. I have a lot of files. I print out a lot of stuff, and a lot of the stuff we do on giveaways for the show are 3D items that I printed out. Now, as you can see, this is a pic because it's so horrible. This is a picture I took, so this is already printed out. It's sitting up in that sitting up the shelf right up beside me here. This is a 3D printed Wizard's Tower. It's 4 stories tall. It's about 11 inches tall, about 9 inches wide. All the levels come off, so you can get to each individual level. It has staircases inside of it that you can actually see where they go, and they go up to each level. The front door opens and closes. There's a hatch in the top that opens up to the roof. It's primed white. It breaks down, and you can put it inside of a high-top shoebox to store it. We are going to be giving this away when we hit 1,000 followers over on our TikTok. And right now we're at 907. 907.
I've done my part. I've been there since, what, 90?
What? Yeah, probably.
I've done what I can do. I've been there since, 90.
I've done my part.
Gotta say, I've done promotions twice, too. I need to do it again. There's a lot more people on mine now, so.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
But so when we get that, we're gonna get 1,000 give away that when we hit 1,000 followers on there. So our link tree is in the chat right now. If you want to go follow our socials, we also have a pretty huge following on Facebook for some reason, and we have like 14,000 followers. Actually, not for some reason, because my wife is our freaking social media manager, and she is amazing, and she has literally created a Facebook group that has 14,000 people in it, and that's kind of crazy. But if you want to go join that, we do contests on there. We're probably going to do the next big giveaway on there at 20,000, and when we hit 10,000, we gave away a library of every single D&D Wizards book and supplement for a D&D library. Everything that was in print at that time, we gave away to one person. So,
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jesus freaking.
Oh, and we do have another rule on the giveaways like that. When we do those giveaways, we don't order it from Amazon. We don't order it from any type of online producer at all. We find out where the person who won lives, and we order it from the local game store.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
That's cool. I like that.
So
That's
if you
pretty
guys have
awesome.
local game stores also that you want to promote, we are doing a little thing. We were doing a little thing during the pandemic, and I think we're going to start doing it again, where we would have a show of the game that we would just promote. No charge, no cost, no nothing. We were trying to help game stores when they were just trying to survive the pandemic, because we were actually letting people know if they were doing curbside pickup, if they were doing delivery, everything like that. So. But I think we should keep doing that because we got to help the local game stores because some people don't have places to play. So, and they're where you live. All right.
Please excuse me. I'm filling out the consent form now.
You're filling out the consent form now?
I didn't get. I didn't jump into any of this until a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit behind.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Yeah,
catch up here. Yep.
So
Consent sheets are important.
Huh? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other big thing about the all of our shows and everything like that is we were giving away a 3D printed mini at the break of every show, and we usually take a break about 2 hours into the program, an hour and a half to 2 hours into the program. But I am really horrible at keeping track of mailing stuff out and getting everything lined up. I'm really good at printing stuff because I like doing that, but the tedium of the actual administrative function of printing out the labels and putting everything in boxes and making sure everything, I'm suck at that. I like playing with the toys. I don't like doing work. I am a giant child. Because of that, I'm like 2 months behind on shipping that shit out. So, I am going to stop doing a mini every single show, but we're going to start doing something else. Randomly during the shows, we're going to run a raffle. It's not going to be for a prize. Everyone who enters the raffle will be entered to win a grand prize at the end of every month. The grand prize can range depending on what we choose to do. It can be a mini, it can be a set of books, it can be something like that. But I guarantee you, it's going to be something along the lines of that. It's going to be something along the lines of one of these, which is that D&D set of books. Oops, wrong way. So, and that's going to be given out once a month. And what's going to happen is, the more shows you watch, the more times you get picked out for the random raffle, and the raffle will probably be on for about 15-20 minutes. In fact, we'll set it at a hard cap of 20 minutes. If you enter the raffle, then that gets recorded. I can get printouts of that every single week, and then at the end of the month, we will set everything up on the raffle, and we will have one show where we will draw a winner from everyone in the raffle. Now, here's the thing: for every time you put your name into the hat, that's one chance to win. So if you follow every single show and you get on every single show, right now we're going to be doing 3 shows a week, 4 shows a week. So if you get every single show, you're going to get 4 chances to win every week. But like I said, we're not going to do the raffle like at the break specifically anymore. We're going to do it randomly. It could be like right after the opening credits, or it could be right before we raid, which is the last thing we do every night. So that's going to be something we're going to be doing from this point on, mainly to keep me from like getting behind again. And in the meantime, everyone else who won, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get this stuff out. I swear to God.
You're good. It doesn't help that I've won 10 minis now.
Sphinx has at least half a dozen. Milagros has the biggest number of winnies because she's won 2 of the really big contests.
Didn't Milagros get the cathedral?
Milagros won the cathedral, and Milagros won the 2 dragons fighting each other.
Oh,
Diorama.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
oh.
Yeah. It's gorgeous. It's insanely gorgeous.
I won.
Yes, you won one too, Fox Rider. No, I was not prepared. So anyway, let's get back into the actual talking about the game, though. So the premise, the way we're starting this game out, by the way, for those of you who follow Firefly and know what Firefly is, and are usually a lot of people already know a lot about the show. You won a mini, Fox. But for those of you who know what the show is, you know that one of the key moments in the whole entire storyline is the Battle of Serenity Valley. That battle was a turning point and pretty much the downfall of the rebellion, also known as the Browncoats, the Resistance. And it was just a horrible, horrific. There was 500,000 casualties estimated at the Battle of Serenity Valley. And of those 500,000, 350,000 were Browncoats. So, and unfortunately on the Alliance side, a lot of Alliance were taken out by friendly fire because the Alliance was Alliance was looking for a crushing defeat, something along the lines of what the Japanese did to Pearl Harbor. They wanted an absolutely soul-crushing defeat. So they were so desperate to increase casualty counts that they will fire into positions that were being overtaken by their own troops, just in a chance to try and hit fleeing Alliance troops. And so a lot of the casualties from the Resistance troops. So a lot of casualties on the Alliance side were literally caused by friendly fire. So it was just a gruesome battle, and it kind of exemplified the Alliance's consideration of human life. It was not nice, but because of the nature of that battle and the way I wanted to start this campaign, our game is literally starting during the Battle of Serenity Valley. So everyone here, no matter what side they're on, is going to be at Serenity Valley during the fight. And the kind of synopsis for how we're bringing everyone together is this group of people is either going to be attempting to or been assigned to directly by officers to try and scramble to get civilians off the planet. A lot of people, when you look at the source material and like some comic books and stuff like that, the Battle of Serenity Valley was fought in Serenity Valley not because, it was a valley and the Alliance were holed up in the hills. It was because there was a town there and there were civilians in the area. And the civilians were thought to be sympathizers with the rebellion and harboring the rebels. And so the Alliance just began shelling the town with no warning when they launched their attack. And so a lot of civilians were caught under heavy fire. They couldn't evacuate, and civilian casualties were freaking horrific. So this ragtag bunch of folks who are just trying to probably more thinking about saving themselves than anything else, they were basically assigned the task of trying to get as many civilians off the planet as possible. And in a situation where you've basically lost almost all air superiority and you're losing the rest of it very quickly, and you're facing withering shelling and hostile troops making inroads into your bases, this is not going to be an easy task in any way, shape, or form. We're going to do.
Your base are belong to us.
Huh?
Is it all your base are belong to us?
Yes, all the base are belong to us. Yeah, the casualties and the number of casualties, the battle at Serenity Valley, and just everything else, that's all canon. This rescue scenario is not canon. This is our part of the story for it. And Foxrider asked if this is all canon for the show. So everything else is canon. The number of casualties, what the Alliance was trying to do with the battle, and everything like that. That's all canon to the storyline. Our portion is not. Once we complete that segment of the story, then we're going to do a time jump. Okay, and we're going to do a time jump to a significant amount of time in the future, and based on what the outcomes, because this is all going to be interpersonal story, based on the outcomes of the initial missions, the characters will have either stayed together as crew of the ship or gone on their separate ways. But the next portion of the story will be bringing the crew back together. And so that's where we're going to be sitting.
Yes. Ezri came down the stairs of my bed and is just staring at me now.
Yeah. Because you're not petting the kitty.
Would you like to come here?
So, Oz, your character is being built as a Alliance mechanic who is basically fresh out of IT, fresh out of their technical school, and their first assignment. And like you said, you were actually from the Outer Rim. And you literally signed up for military service to get the hell out of the Outer Rim and try and find a stable life. And you thought the best way to do that was to join the military, go see other worlds, and maybe get a skill out of it. Your first assignment, you get sent back out to the Outer Rim, and you get assigned as a field technician to a freaking infantry group. So you're basically there to keep their gear working. And
I'm the one making sure those guns keep firing, those ships keep flying.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't think I'm too happy with that right now.
Probably not. And you're actually an Alliance engineer. You're not a mechanic. So.
Yep.
So.
I build them.
But of course, the big issue with that is that the Alliance, at this point, it might not. Field weapons might have not been your specialty, but there's not a lot of engineers that they're willing to send out into the field like that. And since you're kind of a scrub, You get the short. You draw the short straw.
We're not saying you're replaceable, but you're replaceable. So
We would prefer you not die just because it takes a while to train a new mechanic.
yeah, we just got done with all this, but like we could do it again. So on the list of engineers,
It's just,
There's a lot of people trying to get out of the Outer Rim.
to quote multiple military things, but most notably in my head, Starship Troopers, fresh meat for the grinder.
Yep.
Yep.
And a meat that doesn't have a lot of value because they don't have a lot of experience yet. You know, all the engineers who are like, you know, the tank engineers and the actual like aircraft service engineers and everything like that. No, they're too valuable. They keep them the hell out of combat because they've had time to gain experience and they know how to work on the vehicles. You're just like, I have my manuals with me. I have my manuals.
They told me I can look at the schematics as I do this, right?
Yep. And
I got the book out. We're good to go.
I'm imagining the same situation for my character. Right, this anatomy textbook. I can keep an eye on this, right? While I'm cutting, it'll be fine.
Oh my
right?
gosh. Okay. Now all I'm imagining is the DIY people who they literally have a YouTube video up on their phone.
Just hold on 1 second. Okay, that's where I start. Got it.
Yeah, they have it on their data. They have it just a how-to video on their data pad.
It's a YouTube video.
We're good to go.
Can you hold this? Yeah, I'm aware you're bleeding. Just hold this data pad for me.
I'm aware you're bleeding, but if you don't
Stop screaming! Stop screaming! You're making the video shake. I need this to be steady, okay?
Oh, you're passed out? Here, I'm going to put the data pad on your face.
Just tilt your chin to the side. We got it right there. Okay, all right. Now the heart, I've gone too far.
You know, as an Alliance engineer, you could either build a place for him to attach the iPad for when he's watching the videos, or you could just be lazy about it and like just hang some duct tape from the ceiling and just let him like stick it to the back of it.
I'm gonna say the previous option is going to take far too long and cost way too much. That's the only problem.
Have you heard of double-sided tape? I think that's where we're going with this.
I was thinking a chest rig of some sort.
No,
just kind of vaguely holds it here.
No.
Prop it up in between their ribs.
You know what I'm hearing right now?
Clamps.
when we build the ship, we should get an asset for it that's like a holographic medical instructor.
I will say my character does not need it.
Doctor from Voyager.
He is trained. He is trained.
Not the doctor from Voyager. Somebody who can stand over his back and be like, I would have made the incision 2 millimeters higher up.
I can absolutely do that with the thing I get
passive aggressive correcting.
Yeah, I was like, Az could definitely have that in the engine room.
The patient starts crashing. The hologram turns to him. Your patient is crashing.
Death is imminent.
You're really not very good at this, are you?
How do I shut him off? How do I shut him off?
Somebody else is like, Doc, are you going to get this guy to live again? And the hologram just turns and says, based on his previous skill, not likely.
Hold on. So you know what that hologram, the way you're describing the hologram reminds me of? For those of you who watch Star Wars Rebels, that the Imperial Protocol droid that Chopper essentially rescued, I think it was L5 was their name.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that hologram sounded like. It's Francis L5.
So I just imagine him like, you know, he's got the person down on the gurney. He's got the scalpel in his hand. He leans over and starts to do the first cut, and the hologram's like,
A little more shallow than that. You don't want to. Nope.
Over,
this is
left.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
You want the hologram to make lots of coughing noises?
Oh no, it was AP5, not L5. AP5.
What was that, Jonathan?
You want the hologram to make lots of coughing noises, or make like he's like like a backseat driver?
You know that
and then as soon as he
operation
gets the scalpel,
sound?
like where the hologram wants it, the hologram's like,
oh my god, yes.
Oh god.
Whenever you're in the wrong spot, the sound from Operation.
Oh, so we've already got one hated NPC and we haven't even started playing yet.
You're welcome.
Well, I don't think Hipster Viking's going to let us buy that NPC.
To be realistic, my character doesn't need it. So let's utilize funds elsewhere. I am an Alliance trained medic to work at a hospital. I got it.
I was gonna say just throw that droid with Az in the engine room.
We can work with
Judgy hologram. It's
but
fine.
you know, Ray,
So
if Hipster doesn't want this thing to be something we buy, it could always be a complication that's on the ship as soon as things start going wrong.
It just comes.
Don't
just
give
a
them
fail-safe.
ideas.
It just comes.
It
with
was
the
a
ship.
failsafe built into the base model.
Do not give Ray ideas there. Come on, too early
come
for that.
on.
I was gonna say that, or like we're shopping for upgrades to the ship later on, and they were like, "Hey, this is a good idea." Like, you know, the used car salesman kind of shtick.
We could pool all
Oh
of
my
the ship
God,
profits for 6 months together to buy you a gift, thinking that it's a good thing, and then it could just like activate the first time you're in there.
No. You see what it is? It's one of those cheap add-ons. It's one of those cheap upsells that you just tag on at the end of a major sale. It's just, yeah, this is fine because they're garbage. They're not actually helpful.
Or
They just
worse
judge.
yet, it's one of those cheap add-ons that they tag on as a feature, but when you start using it, it's full of ads.
Oh my
So
god!
every single time you're like suturing something up and your suture line breaks and it pops up and goes, you know, if you use Jimmy John's suture cable, you would have a much better rate of properly suturing this person's clothes. That's Jimmy
Blue
John's
Sun
Super
sells a
Sutures.
great option. It sells a great suture tape. Seeing as Blue Sun is just what Microsoft and Walmart combined, that's kind of the idea, right? Yeah.
Blue Sun is the final form of Amazon.
That's
Oh no!
reading the lore. That's the
That's not
reality.
wrong.
I
They're
know.
a mega conglomeration.
That's the sad part.
Oh
That's not
shit!
wrong.
I'm gonna make Bezos still be alive and be the only real fantasy thing in this game because he's gonna be a lich.
Can he not be a lich? Can he just be a brain in
No.
a jar and that be our last thing to do? Is just
That's a demi lich, actually.
you're
So
right.
here's
It
the
is
thing.
such a
Is the
Here's the
hologram.
We already know that Wayland Yutani is an Easter egg
Mm-hmm.
in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Wayland Yutani in the universe
Uh,
basically did give himself lichdom.
Wayland the Wayland Yutani Corporation, if you don't know from the canon, is who created the. They're the ones who do the the anti-aircraft ships or anti-aircraft guns that are in Serenity Valley. Apparently, they're the ones who do like the optics for it. That's it's on there on the screens and all that. Yeah.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it was there, and so I started watching for
There's
when it happened. And yeah, the
there's
optics.
also Easter eggs in the series for aliens.
Yeah, well, that's the Wayland Yutani.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah.
What is that's
Wayland
that's
Yutani's
an
the
alien.
company that made the ships. Yeah. And
Yep. Well, they're the also the ones who made the cyborgs.
Yeah.
Androids, yeah.
The
You know,
androids.
Ray,
excuse me.
if you want to go lich, but you just want to keep it in the sci-fi setting, you could always grab and pull in his other work from Dollhouse, and Bezos could have just like sort of downloaded his
Yes.
personality into bodies every time he loses the one he's got.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was saying, make him the
yes.
holograms.
Oh, or
Every
as
hologram is Bezos.
or hold on. Foxrider put this in the chat with explain. I forgot her name, but that piece of literally just skin
Lady
just stretched
Cassandra.
out.
Lady
Thank
Cassandra,
you.
yeah. Stretch skin with an eye in her
Moisturize me.
Like, moisturize.
Moisturize me.
Okay, so what I was trying to do before we got massively sidetracked.
ADHD
I
for the
blame me.
win.
Yep.
I blame me.
Oh no, I think it's all of us. But yeah, so what I was gonna say, Oz, is that your character, the way we described the way you were gonna come out of this is, you know, you're obviously going AWOL.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the way I was kind of thinking it was going to happen is like, you know, you're following your unit. You're a combatant, so you carry a weapon, but you mostly have it slung and you're just carrying your gear packs. You know what I mean? You're running along behind the unit. And
My customized tool bag, yes.
yeah, your customized tool bag. And you basically are like, you know, because they have things like mules, which are not the floating kind. They're 4-legged, and that carries like all their heavy weapons, so they don't have to carry it, and follows them around. And you're there to maintain that, because without that, those heavy weapons, like the heavy machine guns and stuff like that, those things weigh like 200 to 300 pounds. So without the mules to carry all their gear, and it also carries like their food and everything like that. So without the mule to carry their gear, they had to redistribute that amongst everybody, and it would slow them down.
Yeah.
So you stay back with the mule, and you're like the only person who really guards it. So as your platoon's running forward to take their next objective, I was thinking the easiest way to have you really, really have the point driven home was to have your unit shelled, like right in front of you.
Perfect. Do it.
Like they're running right into an ambush. They're fighting. They're toe to toeing with an alliance unit, and they're like advancing on the position. And then the entire area in front of you just is lit up.
It's a crater.
Yeah. Well, it's a bunch of explosions and everything like that, and you're knocked on your ass, and you're like, that's when you go forward, and that's probably when you could do things like find the browncoats gear to put on and everything like that. Because
Yeah, and we're done here.
It's like, oh, that's what I'm worth. Nope.
Thank you for all the training. Appreciate it. I'm just gonna I'll leave.
Excellent.
You killed me anyway. Yeah.
Yep. Just drop your dog tag somewhere and pretend you're incinerated. Now for Lissa.
Yes.
Your character is going to be the unique one, because you have a leaning, but you don't have an allegiance.
Yes.
You're basically an independent captain.
Yes, she does lean towards kind of like the browncoats to a degree, because obviously like the browncoats are like the underdogs, and like the civilians that are in the crossfire tend to be on the browncoat side, or at least in browncoat territory. So she's doing what she can to kind of like toe the line with the alliance, so she can help the civilians that are in the crossfire without like officially being a browncoat.
Yeah. So you were for your situation, what we were talking about is you had brought the ship in, your ship into this area, and you were trying to you had been paid very well though, but you're trying to get supplies down for some units that are supposed to be far off the lines. When you were contracted to do it, there was, the lines are supposed to be like minutes away from where you were supposed to land and deliver. But with the attack going off and the sheer ferocity and the number of troops that they're willing to throw at it, by the time you get down in land and start to deliver the cargo, you're literally the shells are getting closer and everything like that, and you're trying to get them to get the cargo off so you can get the hell out of there. Was this still okay with having your ship blowed up?
So the way I was thinking, let's give her like the tragic rogue backstory. Like, she has already delivered the supplies and everything, and she's like trying to convince her parents to get out, and she gets her parents to her ship along with some of their neighbors, and that's when it gets shelled and she gets like knocked to the side.
Are you killing your family?
Yes.
You are a bad person.
Hey,
I do trauma.
it makes it easier to not have the attachments. No one can hold your family hostage if you have no family.
Yeah.
That's why that's why I love you when you guys fall in love with each other's characters or an NPC.
That's
Not wrong
okay.
there.
I am giving you a former fiance.
Okay.
Ooh.
I am allowing you that.
Oh.
And instead of siding with the browncoats, they straight up sided with the alliance. So even more trauma for you.
There you go. Oh, we gotta hydrate.
Oh,
Harvey
hydrate.
the Brewha, thank you so much for the hydrate.
Well,
Excellent.
Hi,
guess I'll
Keenan.
I guess I'll actually drink water this time.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. Instead of what?
Oh, monster! I've
Oh.
been
I was-
drinking
Corey!
on this the entire time.
Corey,
Yeah,
you know I'm partnered with an energy drink company, right? You should
I
get some
know.
of that.
I know. You want to give me a kickback? I'll buy some.
And by the way, is that link in your links?
It is.
Okay, good.
Also,
is, yeah.
Corey, if you send me your address, I will send you some at
case.
some point.
Yeah, I'll just no give a sample. I'll give you the address. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll do
Because
it.
they've got a sample pack of some of the
Yeah.
different flavors. When I
Gotcha.
get like my Twitch payout or something like that, I'll shoot you one.
Fantastic. I'll definitely try it out.
All right. Excellent. See? We can all help each other. All right,
'Cause
so that's going to basically what leaves you stranded pretty much on
Yeah.
the battlefield. And not just stranded, but you just watched, like, probably what, your only living relatives?
Yeah, she watched her only living relatives along with like some of her like the handful of people that she would consider like childhood friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because she did grow up on the cargo ship, but
Mm-hmm.
like when they would be planet side, you know, like these were the kids she interacted with along with their families. So like she's like getting her parents and their neighbors, and the neighbors include some of these people she grew up with, trying to get them out as the shelling is getting closer.
Yep.
And like she's trying to shuffle the last people in when it gets hit.
Yep. Gotcha. All right, so that's how you're getting stuck on planet. Corey?
Yeah.
You are...
Keeping
I
it
know-
a little bit close, but I was gonna say
Mhm.
if we could pick up for my guy at the point just after the firebombing. Anywhere past that, or anywhere at that point, would be fine for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Actually, screw it. I expect all of y'all to be able to handle not metagaming. Actual background here, seeing as everyone's given a little bit here. Alliance trained medic, sent to the front lines, was trained to work in a hospital, so he's kind of too good for what he's doing there. Witnessed the firebombing start, which kind of made him go, oh no, nope, fuck this. I've been in the military for the entirety of the war at this point, so I think I'm older than my character's older than a couple people here. But witnesses the firebombing, and you can kind of give me some direction from there if you want, Ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me one second.
Corey, how old is your character?
That's actually a thing I need one thing answered for. Generally, how long would the medical training for Alliance military be? Like, with the intention of it going, maybe working at a military hospital? How long do you think that training would take?
For someone who is basically a triage person, which means that you're not really qualified enough to do full-on surgery, but you know enough to stop bleeding.
Well, the original intention when I went into like the actual schooling was to go into like the surgery route for major things. Then they threw me into triage. They were like, "No, we're gonna just throw you here.
Yeah.
You seem better suited for this, even though you're trained for it. We're gonna throw you into this."
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, that type of situation, it's going to be probably one of your longer courses situations. So you probably joined really well, like probably a year or so, more than a year before this.
I'd say.
Is it like a year before the battle or a year before the war?
I haven't given a time frame for how old I was when I got in. I would say I would have to be at least, given my age when I joined, at least 25, 26.
Probably.
And I basically graduated and the war started. So I'm 30-ish. Yeah.
Yeah, so your character's around my character's age, because
Okay,
she's 30.
Yeah.
So that would mean you basically went all the way and got your equivalent of an MD.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
All right. So, and yeah, with the firebombing situation, that's no problem whatsoever. It's going to be very similar to the situation that Oz's character is going to be in.
Yeah.
Coming out of this, and it could be even a situation where you're wherever you were, and that because you were following unit in combat, right?
The idea I had was basically that people are like, each unit had kind of someone assigned, and I was assigned to a unit who got firebombed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I was separated. Sorry, I say that I was separated from. I got separated from my unit during the conflict, and then I witnessed them get firebombed.
Yep. And so, as you were stating in the background, you basically had a situation where you ran into the enemy type thing,
mm-hmm.
and you did the whole Mexican standoff.
We don't want to shoot each other, but we know we're supposed to. Firebomb hits, both fire.
And then the
I ended up being alive. Yeah,
right.
Both fired. I lived.
So what we can do with that, and this is a way to try and tie you and Oz's characters together, is that that could have been the same strike.
That's what I was actually thinking as you said. Told me their backstory. I was like, that would work.
Yeah.
Would you two? Would you two be willing to actually kind of know each other's background? Both of you run into each other as you're
both in brown coat clothing.
No.
Yes.
Literally pulling brown coat uniforms off of bodies and putting them on, and you both look over.
I took the clothes of the man that I killed.
Huh?
I took the clothes of the man that I killed.
That escalated quickly.
Well, he says he paused because he didn't want to shoot. What he was doing was he was checking out his sizes and making sure that it was going to be a good fit.
All right, so we're just gonna perfect.
That'll work.
Hey, let me shoot your picture.
Wait. What's your shoe size? Perfect.
What's your shoe size?
The little buddy that I mentioned carrying that asset, that was his pistol. That was
that's
it's not even
pistol?
war. It's not war trophies.
Yeah.
It's reminder. It's a reminder.
So little buddy was the brown coats?
Mm-hmm. It was his pistol.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I took it as a reminder that I go after the Alliance real hard now.
Okay. Did you shoot him from the neck up so that there wouldn't be holes in your clothes, or did you?
That's the thought that I had, was that I probably hit him in the head. I probably shot him in the head.
You know what? No, actually, Ray, you should have someone roll for that when that happens.
I'm just
because it would almost be hilarious if your brown coat jacket had a hole right here, and everybody's like, "You got that injury in the war?" Because it's right over your heart, and you're like. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was wearing armor.
I'm glad you survived.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d20 real quick. Odds, I hit him in the head. Evens, I hit him somewhere else, and it's just very strange that I'm not bleeding from that area.
Yeah. It's very
Those flasks will save
That
your
is a
life,
3.
man.
That is a 3. That is a 3. I hit him in the head.
Nice.
Got to make sure the dead guy's pants.
It just adds to the trauma. It just adds to the trauma. That's all it does.
You try and get his shoes on; they're too small. You start looking around for another brown coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Nathan's
You find
gonna be
another
swimming
corpse just up the road that actually has the right shoe size.
Man, these are too small. Hey, you see anybody with bigger feet? Just let me know. Just let me know.
Fucking you and Oz's character shopping.
A little bit, just that running across each other, being like, so those look like they're my size.
And yours look like mine. Yeah, here we go. That works. I imagine less I'm taking all of their clothes, more I'm like, okay, this is the armor that the little body armor that they wear. Just getting rid of that, going down to base
you're basically
necessities.
trying to get away. You're trying to cover up or get rid of all your signature items, which is your purple belly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your purple uniform. You want to get rid of as much of that as you can. So the
I
brown
would
coat's
definitely
great because
have
it covers stuff
something
up.
underneath.
Yeah.
I definitely have something underneath for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
Your character, I have the least amount on.
Okay. What would you like to know?
You're a pilot for the Alliance.
No, for the Independents.
Sorry, Independents. You wanted them Independents. So, of course, we're going to put you at the battle because you have to be there for the most part. And plus, it's one of the final battles of the war. I didn't know this, but of course, everyone understands that the revolution was patterned after the Civil War in the U.S. and that the Battle of Serenity Valley was actually patterned after the Battle of Shiloh, which was a fucking horrific battle and a terrifying loss for the South. And it was it was kind of built off that. You got a comfort kitty now?
I have comfort kitty.
Yes, well, the comfort kitty doesn't want to be there.
This is rent.
Hello, kitty.
She pay rent.
She pay rent.
Hey.
I'm assuming that as part of the battle, and since you are you pretty much a freighter pilot for the Alliance? You pilot a Komodo, something like that?
Yeah, I've basically been piloting probably this Komodo since the last ship I got went MIA.
MIA.
Side story. Well, it's not relevant to right now.
Okay. You're selling ships on the black market, aren't you?
No.
Awesome.
I'm not selling ships on the black market.
Came back. I lost my ship. Can I get another one?
It's a backstory hook for you to have fun with, but it's really not relevant to what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. So, do you want to make it to where... Actually, I would like to make the situation where, like, I destroyed Lissa's character ship for a reason. I would like to destroy yours as well.
Okay.
What I was thinking is you could actually have been basically shot down and made a forced landing. And what I was thinking of is tying you into maybe to Lissa's character, because she sees you go down near where they are. Because, of course, you're not going to try and go down in the front lines. If you have any control of the ship, you're going to try and get away from that. So you're going to be flying more to where she is, because Corey and Oz's character is going to be like, they're literally going to have to cross the lines to get the fuck out of where they're at and get into the ground period. But Lissa's character, of course, landed farther away, so they're farther back. So I figured you would crash back there, and then Lissa being just like seeing this happen nearby, hopefully being someone who would be worried about that, or just wanting to see if there's any way that anything on the ship might be salvageable. It might have a shuttle that you could get out of there with. You would come up and you would basically see what's going on, and that's where you two could possibly link up and start trying to make for whatever outcropping is going on. Is that okay, Jonathan? Because I know you haven't built a ship yet, so...
I was going to say maybe slight modification. Could I be on like a shuttle from the ship so that the ship itself is not destroyed? So even if we don't touch it in the game, it still could be something that we come across later?
Okay, sure.
Are you cool? Since you said you're from the... Wait, are you actually from the Outer Rim, or are you from the same system?
Circle.
Never mind then. I was going to say, maybe our characters grew up together. Never mind.
You could have had deliveries dropped off.
Hey, there we go. That's our connection. Our mechanic and the captain grew up slightly together, and the stories that Mariana told our mechanic is like why they were like, yeah, this backwater fucking planet is horrible.
Wait, hold on. What's on the core planets?
Food.
So that's where all this comes from. Bye. I'm joining the military.
I'm out.
This couldn't go wrong. Oh no, it all went wrong.
Nothing ever goes wrong in the military.
Man,
all right.
Just ask Lieutenant Dan.
All right. So the next thing I wanted to see is, so now we can tie Jonathan's character to Lys's character and start getting them moving in the right direction, which leaves Kel.
Yep.
Your situation is much more precarious than anyone's, except for maybe Corey and Az. But since we killed off their units,
Yeah.
they're fine. There's where our witnesses.
Yeah, we're totally fine. We're running through active combat, running away from our own people while looking like the enemy. That's fine. This is fine.
Everything's fine.
It's a hell of a lot better than what Kel's going to go through. So.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fair.
I set
That's
myself
fair.
up for this.
So you have been supplying information.
Yep.
You are actually, you went through and you enlisted and you joined the military, and at some point you became disillusioned and you became a double agent. So you've actually been in the military for a while.
Yeah, my character joined right at the start of Unification War. They trained as a corpsman, just basic, like, hey, just gonna stop the bleeding and get you the fuck out of here. So
Stop bleeding, morphine, get him out of here.
yeah, pretty much. But it was at the battle. It was during the siege of New Casimir when they were doing the whole grenade and the apple stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So he was like, okay, this is too far.
Yeah, because the
So the
Alliance
fact-
troopers are putting mini grenades and apples and throwing them over.
Didn't we discuss that we probably ran into each other?
Yeah,
There.
that's why I brought the
That's the
corpsman
last
saying, like,
time I saw him.
yeah, we can make
I
like
saw him there.
because our units, we could have been part of a joint unit or something like that, or at least
Yeah.
a state, or the same station at least.
So
Yeah, something
what I was trying, what I wanted was trying to get to is, do you have any concept for, what you would have done to try and like make contact with the Browncoats? What you would have done? What you have been? Because you obviously you since you're in with ground units, you can feed them vital intel during battles. But what would they have been doing to try and help you do that?
So, kind of what I wrote into my backstory when I was doing the whole, like, where he officially, became the double agent, was that they gave him some kind of encrypted communication device, like,
Mhm.
where that's only, like, you wouldn't know what the fuck is going on
Yeah.
unless you knew the encryption. And that's pretty much what he would be used to relay information as best he could.
Gotcha.
As well as also give the signal of, hey, I'm about to get caught. Get me the fuck out of here.
Well, that all depends on where you are.
Sure, well, you know what I mean? Like, set it up like that. I mean,
Oh, no problem.
that was the device was for. It was also the SOS essentially.
So, what I was thinking is, well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
By the time you're at Serenity Valley, the Alliance has been on. The Browncoats have been on the run for a bit.
Yep.
It's been a strategic fighting retreat. You are doing your best to try and supply them with enough intel to try and at least try and minimize casualties, or give them some heads up before they're gonna get hit.
Yeah, that's actually part of the backstory roads. I told him like when to bug out and stuff like that.
Yeah. So even though you're using a super scrambled device, you're still having to do things like piggyback that signal on Alliance signals to get it strong enough to get anywhere. So your unit has seen battle, but during Serenity, instead of your unit, because your unit's a more veteran unit, and they're like usually assigned to engineering teams as guards now, so they don't really get near combat. They're usually situated where they're like okay, well we're gonna build a bivouac over here, and so we have an engineering team out here doing the construction, cutting out everything, digging everything out, while your unit would be like providing security and guarding it so they wouldn't get ambushed.
Uh-huh.
During Battle of Serenity Valley, your unit is assigned to the initial assaults on the front.
Okay.
Which is very unusual. And the captain who runs your unit is pissed, and he's, storming around, and he's like, I don't know who we pissed off. I don't know what happened. He says, but we're being ordered into the front. So you, with that kind of odd situation coming up, and it's not necessarily a situation of depleted troops or anything like that. It's more of a situation of, they usually send expendable units into the initial assaults, like green troops and stuff like that, not because they don't want the assault to succeed, but they literally want to use them to try and mark and allocate prize targets, and it kind of it's really bad.
Yeah.
The series is gonna have 14 episodes. Hey, our last one made it past 14, and then ended. So what I was thinking is that you were as part of your unit, you were sent in, and while your unit was like in the thick of it in the fight, you basically, your unit started coming under heavy crossfire, and someone in your unit realized that the other end of the crossfire wasn't coming from like a browncoat unit that outflanked you, but was coming from another alliance unit. And that alliance unit was special ops. And they had traced the signal back to your unit, but they couldn't judge which one of you was the actual traitor, so they just decided to eliminate your entire unit.
Oh,
that's brutal. I love
sounds
it, Ray.
right though.
So you're getting fire from browncoats, but you're also getting fire from behind you from what looks like another unit of alliance troops, and so it's at this point that it's all bets are off, and you're going to be basically turning tail and trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. And you can't really take time to try and signal anyone.
Yeah.
So you're basically doing this whole ducking. Your entire unit is ducking and taking cover because it's a nightmare. And the first person that gets shot is the colonel who runs the unit, because lieutenant runs the unit, because he turns around and starts yelling at the alliance unit. What are you doing? Friendly fire! Friendly fire! And it's like. So
could we say that, just to bring everyone a little bit closer, that clearly Az and myself are on one side of a firebombing.
Yeah.
Kellen is on the other side of the same firebombing, and that the Alliance gave such a little shit about their soldiers that Spec Ops unit got caught in it, just so we don't have to deal with them.
I would not think the Spec Ops unit would. I think the Spec Ops unit would know it's coming, and they keep you guys pinned down with fire right up until they get the signal that there's incoming, and then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Ooh.
Posture check and hydrate, guys.
Oh. Yay!
Oh, man, they're gonna see self-care.
I'm gonna say I'm queer. I don't have good posture. Queer and neurodivergent. It doesn't happen.
Same though.
I'm fat, so I have a lot of weight pulling me this way, so I slouch.
See, I spent a lot of my life in that same situation.
I also have hypermobility, so my back is fucked.
I don't know what hypermobility is. It sounds like a good thing.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Your
joints are not supposed to do this. This doesn't hurt.
I don't know what you're doing.
They essentially rotated their wrists more than it should have.
Oh.
And
No,
pulled
just
their
the
pinky
finger
down.
joints.
Yep.
Oh. I see your pinky now. That's bad. Put
Basically.
Yeah, like their bones are almost like snake bones. They can move more than they should.
And
I've
tendons
literally
are
dislocated
usually
I've literally dislocated my jaw in my sleep.
I mean, I can kind of pop my shoulder out.
I don't think anyone should want to do any of these things.
Oh, it doesn't
I
hurt.
don't want to do these things. It happens. This is
All right.
something that happens to me, not because I wanted to.
Absolutely not. All right, so I think we've got some clear ground for how we can kind of get everyone. Number one, for our alliance folks to get out of the alliance, and number two, to give everyone a solid footing for trying to have a reason to get off planet. What we need to look at now is how are you getting off planet, and that's something we haven't done yet. We haven't built the ship that you guys are going to be sequestering as part of this mission to get the people off planet. So what I was thinking for the ship is, you guys had already picked an actual ship that you wanted to use.
Yeah.
So it was going to be a ship that's called a Komodo, which was heavily utilized by the Resistance, because it's kind of like the Firefly class, but the Firefly class is more of a straight cargo hauler, and the Komodo is more of a utility vehicle. So whereas the Firefly was like a blockade runner and a smuggling ship, but also a cargo freighter, the Komodo could be transformed into different things. Like they could even make the Komodo technically into a gunship.
You basically have the front, like literally the part that holds your engine and everything, and then an attachment to the back, correct?
Actually,
Basically.
I think it has 2 attachments possible.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's super adaptable. So you can set it up as it could be set up as a flying triage center with medical bays. It could be set up as a troop carrier. It could be set up as a supply runner and just have freight loaded in. So because of all that, I was thinking that it would be one of those ships that would definitely be there. Now the problem with it is that the Komodo is pretty much the one you have to utilize is toast. You're gonna have to spend time to get it up and running.
Which means running around a battlefield.
Yes. Which
Yeah.
means
Now-
trying to find parts from other crashes and trying to keep the Komodo from getting taken by anyone else.
Well,
That-
I
wait.
guess it's a good thing I added to my shoot
Yeah. Same.
and my fight.
I'm
Again,
glad
same.
my
Started
shoot
at
is a
4
10.
for me.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
my
my
hold on.
shoot's at an 8.
my fighting and shooting are 8s.
Yeah.
With
So-
specializations in both.
My fighting and shooting are both 10s, along with my operate and treat.
So for the audience, one of the best things about the Cortex
I'm
game,
the engineer.
she's like, I know what I've
I'm
done
just-
is, and I can fix it.
With the right DIY.
No, it's-
Silicone and duct tape. Silicone and duct tape, we got this.
If you can't use WD-40 or duct tape on it, fuck
Throw
it
it
and
away.
move on.
I would say-
Throw it away. It's gone.
Actually, the only D10 I have is in Sneak.
Sneak.
And
So,
Spy.
so what I was going to say is, when we're looking at the ship, did you guys were already looking at traits and everything like that for the ship?
Yeah.
Everybody's got one.
And this is kind of sort of like a situation where some of the traits are not going to be usable in the beginning of the game, because this thing is literally going to, like she said, duct tape, baling wire, and a hope and a prayer. That's what you're going to be holding the ship together with to get this off. And so what we're looking at is, where do you want the ship? When you make the ship, you should be looking at this as where do you want it to be after we do the time skip. Like after you've had time to, get these people off planet, start trying to find a way to make a life for yourselves, and start actually earning some funds and do things to modify the ship and get it into flying condition.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when you said toast, you mean like, can I at least get off the ground but not leave
Not
that
when you
boat?
find it.
Okay. Figure I
Now,
clarify.
it has things like, the engines work. The ship works decently well. Like the controls may be fucked. So you might have to go find like another control unit to put into the ship itself. It might not have like landing gear. You know,
Who
because-
needs a navigation system
Yeah.
when we have our soon-to-be hated hologram NPC?
Wait, that's a ship's doctor. He's not a generic I know everything hologram.
It's
He's
like,
not
We are gonna
Google.
reprogram him,
hold
okay?
on, hold on,
Reprogram
hold on.
him.
I was gonna say, no, the NPC is gonna be like, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a navigator.
I mean, have
And
you
someone's
seen
gonna be like,
Picard?
give me 5 minutes.
Give me just a second.
Ray, we didn't develop that character to actually have knowledge skills. We developed him to be passive aggressively corrective.
I can do that.
That's the entire. That's
The
my entire
characters-
thought on the matter.
The character doesn't actually have a name. You just all call him Well, actually.
That's their nickname.
Mhm. There we go.
Well, actually,
A working engine is for cowards.
cowards.
Thank
Hang on
you,
1 second.
Keenan.
I gotta let my dog in.
Oh,
Can that be the name of the first episode? Working engines are for cowards.
I mean, it can be because remember,
Yes.
at the end of each episode, we actually get to choose the name of it.
Yeah.
We get to name the episode, whether it's something that was relevant or just a theme, essentially.
So, who wants to keep track of the ship?
I can. I already got
say-
the sheet pulled up.
Gotta say, I've got it pulled up too.
Cool. So, just like anything else, the traits on the ship are fixed. Every player character can start out with either even stats across the board, which is D8s in all 3 other traits, or they can do a situation where they have one primary, one tertiary, and one secondary and one tertiary trait, which means one trait is at a 10, one trait is at an 8, and another trait is at a 6. So the Komodo, I think you all decided that the Komodo should be an 8 across the board, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
just
what it
because
should
of its versatility.
be. Currently, yeah. Unless we can upgrade it at some point.
And this is what the ship's character sheet looks like. I kind of think it's neat because they actually give you a little map to actually draw a floor plan with.
I'll leave the drawing to you, Corey. I can't draw worth a damn.
I might do us a layout on, say, Incarnate, because I might be able to make that work out,
That's
because I
fine.
like map making, so I might be able to do that.
That's fine. Like, I can't draw worth a damn, so.
So that's
Yeah.
that's the first one. So then it has boxes for crew. So that's going to be kind of variable. A lot of times it's going to be based on who's piloting. Jonathan's going to be the primary pilot for the ship. So I'm assuming, Jonathan, your piloting is very, very high.
Yeah, well, that crew box, though, is mostly like for you if you're using it as an NPC ship, then you just assign the crew a dice for how good the crew is as a whole.
Gotcha. Oh, so I can make... Oh, so like, yeah.
Like if we counter a ship, that ship might be piloted by a D6 crew. Like
Gotcha.
the crew is just a D6 crew.
Oh, so like, when you find the Reavers, D10.
That's where that would be, yeah. Just no 10s. No 10s.
All 10s. All 10s
Jonathan,
all the time.
what's your fly at?
10s all the way down.
Yeah, so then like
Who
when
are
we
you
encounter
asking?
the
Listen, who are
Reavers.
you asking?
I was asking Jonathan what his flight skills are at.
Well, obviously, not good enough not to crash, but good enough to not die in the crash.
So a solid
Okay.
10, right? A solid
I
10,
mean, you could have got hit by anti-air.
which
It's
is what I'm
true.
thinking it definitely happened.
On character,
That would've been-
Yeah.
Damn it,
creation,
Madeline,
you can
you
actually
taught
bump
me.
something up to a 12, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can.
If it's one of your
Tech-
primary skills. So, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even if it wasn't a primary, technically, if you want to dump all your points into a non-class skill, you technically could make it a 12 still.
Yep.
yeah,
But then you'd have nothing
Well,
in
I
anything
had-
else.
yeah.
I had to fight myself to not bump 2 things up to 12 with those extra 5 points. I had a way to do that, and I was like,
That's perfectly
no,
fine. I give you those
I've
points.
no, I'm gonna put some points into drive.
Hey, look, I
Hey, we
had
have
some
good
drive. I wasn't the best at driving, but I had points in drive.
I
I'm a
got
solid
D-
6.
I have a D6.
I have
Same.
a D6.
Okay,
Right.
so we're better than Ray's last Firefly group at driving.
Well, then again, the last Firefly group was on Miranda and running from Reavers.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yep.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their ship was running around as a decoy in space, trying to keep the Reavers from coming back to the planet, while they were doing with the Reavers that were still on planet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was great.
For you, maybe.
Crashing is just speed landing. Landing for the impatient.
That's no, it's landing with style.
With style. Depends on how good the crash is. That's there's the final nail in the coffin for that one.
I'm just doing a pre-flight check to make sure the airbags work.
This is a during flight check.
So,
I've already lost one ship. I swear to God.
So I'm gonna say
almost half
we
the
should
people here have.
probably leave the ship name vacant for right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
What we
Okay.
can do next is you guys had been talking about distinctions a lot. Had you guys come up with any ideas for the distinctions you want? Because you get 3 distinctions to put on the ship. So
I beg you,
Huh?
as the engineer.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's got one. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got
Oh
one.
yeah, it makes the most sense.
It
I was
makes,
looking
it
at
makes
that
a lot of
too.
sense for the way that
Hold
the
on.
Komodo is described. It's kind of like the Honda Civic.
Where is that one?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the Honda Civic. We can make
so
it work. We can make it work. We can make it work.
Those are the distinctions for the Komodo class because we're having a custom built Komodo class. It's not in the book. So
Yeah.
everybody has one came off of.
Because I'm in the ship. I'm in the ship
the
stuff. I
Firefly
didn't
class
know.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh,
other
okay.
one people were looking at was Independent Chopper, which comes off of the Eagle class light transport.
That's
Who's
what I
Independent
was.
Chopper?
Well, that's the name they gave it. I mean, that's probably not the name we would use anymore as the name, but it was the one that says when you have the time and the materials to make significant modification of the ship, you spend a plot point and remove a customization distinction and replace it with a new customization distinction.
Oh,
So that was like
yeah.
the modular aspect of the ship.
Right.
Yeah.
So is everyone cool with that?
So what are the names here? Everybody's got one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I would
everybody
just
has
replace
one.
Independent Chopper with the name Modular Design. Same
Yeah.
text, but just call it Modular Design.
Gotcha.
Okay, for the distinctions, like on the like the archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are the little drop down things under them just things that are from that particular distinction, or like how
Yes.
does that?
Yes.
Okay,
So the way it works is
so-
you pick the 3 distinctions. Oh, what was that? Oh, thank you for the cheer, baby. I love you very much. That's my wife. So the way the distinctions work is you have the distinctions, right? And
Uh-huh.
no matter what, you can say I'm using this distinction, and you can roll a d8. Now, if the distinction has a box in it check marked, you can also use that ability from that distinction. Okay, and that could give you an extra dice. That could give you the ability to generate plot points. There's a whole bunch of different distinctions that do a whole bunch of different things. Now, the key to this is you only get to check 2 boxes when you start out. And I don't know if the actual archetypes have boxes checked or not. They may. already have boxes checked.
It always has the D4 to
The
earn
D4
one
is always
PP.
checked.
Yeah.
Okay.
D4
Well.
is always checked.
Yeah.
No, you choose you choose everything. So I mean, technically, you can have a Komodo that, like, maybe they built it and the module was placed in there, but you haven't figured out how to like deal with replacing them yet, or you haven't bothered to
Yeah,
ever
'cause,
look
like-
into replacing it. I mean, like, you could eventually unlock it because it does exist on the ship, but
Mhm.
you can't, as a crew, do that yet because you haven't unlocked the ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
the next part.
so-
That's the next thing we kind of have to talk towards is, but we'll do that in a second. What I wanted to do is get finish out getting what the distinctions are, and then you can decide which 2 items out of the 6 available for the distinctions that you're going to choose. Now, the reason the D4 is available in all of them is because it actually generates a plot point if you choose to use it. And that means instead of rolling the D8 that you normally get and throwing that into your dice pool, you will choose to roll a D4, but you generate a plot point. And so you're increasing your chances of getting a botch by a lot. But
Mhm.
and you're not going to get a high number in your total. You're going to get maximum of a 4.
Yep.
But if you because the GM as the game master, I set the stakes for the roll, and what that means is you have dice pools, I have a dice pool. I will form a dice pool out of the traits and everything like that my scene and my scenario has and everything like that, and then I'll roll the dice pool and I'll see a total. I'll tell you what the total is when I roll, and then I have to choose how I want to modify the roll, and I have to do all that before you guys even roll. Because when I'm done with that, whatever final number I get is the target number. Okay? And then you guys have to beat that target number. Now, depending on by how much you can manage to beat the target number by, you actually get benefits for beating it by a lot. If you beat it by 5, then whoever's rolling against it gets what's called a big damn hero dice. Big damn hero dice, it will be equal to the highest die that I rolled in my pool. You can only have one big damn hero dice at a time of each type. So if I rolled a d10 and you already have a big damn hero dice at d10, you don't get anything. And big damn hero dice have their own mechanics. It's another badass trait in the game.
Yep.
And it's the thing kind of that makes you the hero because you have access to those.
Uh-huh. So I'm thinking for Mariana that she does not take that debt because she inherited the ship from her parents when they retired.
Okay.
So that's the one variation that I'm doing on the archetype. I'm not doing that.
And you can go through all the other archetypes and replace that, or all the other archetypes and look at their good lord
List.
No, the distinctions. Thank you. You can look through all the other distinctions, and you can find a distinction that fits into your backstory better, and just take out the distinction you don't like and substitute it in. Because that's one of the nice things about this system. There isn't really any points based for it. There isn't really anything in that. The distinctions just give you skills that you start out with. And like if one of your distinctions has a skill and another distinction has the same skill, that means that you start the skill. When you have a skill in a distinction, you start it out at a D6. If you have it in 2 distinctions, it goes up to a D8. So it's just a way of doing ups before you even spend your 9 points. Of course, since you only, I think, get 2 skills per distinction.
3
skills per distinction.
Yeah.
If you have duplications in those, you might get a higher starting skill, but you're also going to lose the chance for 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 new skills because you don't have a lot of different skills in your initial pool. But you do have high skills in the ones you do have. I think that's what our former mechanic did. He took a lot of distinctions that duplicated up things he wanted to do for repair, and he nearly died.
Yeah.
Well, you can have like a really good skill in something and then still be okay. But when all 3 of your distinctions are basically the same thing, like if your distinctions are, and I'm making up distinctions for this purpose, but if you have like engineer, ship's mechanic, and then you got like whiz with tech, all 3 of your distinctions say the same thing. So when you're in a situation, if it's not related to like mechanics and engineering, you don't have a distinction you can put in your dice pool. Yeah. And every dice pool is basically attribute, distinction if it qualifies, the skill that you should have, and then if you have a signature asset or a specialization, which is 5 dice. And you're only going to get one attribute, 1 distinction, and 1 skill. And that's true if you're using the ship also. So like if you're flying the ship, you're using the ship's engines, like that becomes the attribute, not your attribute. And then it's your skill. And then it can be either your distinction or the ship's distinction, depending on what you can use. So like if the ship has a distinction that relates to engines and you're flying the ship and that's relevant, you could tie into the ship's distinction, or you can tie into yours if you have something that's like a piloting based type of a distinction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, when you're in the ship can help with a lot of things. It also, like with engineering, like if you have a distinction that applies to like repairing the ship or engineering ship or anything like that, that distinction can be used in that role too. So it's neat. But anyway,
So
you've
we're
got the
putting
first
this down.
yeah, let's say you've got the first 2 distinctions chosen. Go ahead, Corey.
Well, this is the thing. Looking at the distinctions,
Mm-hmm.
the distinctions don't have any triggers here.
Yeah, that's because these 2 things are triggers. Because like it's
Yeah.
going, those are
Well,
class
see, that was-
distinctions.
That was my thing.
So-
Are we going to be putting in? Are we customizing our triggers for the Komodo class distinction?
Those
Yeah, that's
those
what
are
we
the
were doing.
triggers.
Yeah, so Komodo
That's
class
what I
is
was
our
making
class
sure on. Okay.
distinction. Yeah, Komodo class is our distinction. Then everybody has one, and modular design are our 2 triggers for that distinction.
That's what I was trying to make sure of.
Yep.
I
And-
misunderstood earlier.
I think I found another distinction that ads might like.
Oh,
What's that?
Well, it's 2 of them. So one is called held together with duct tape and chewing gum. No, but now here's the thing though. So one trigger is called "Did something fall off?" Start every episode with a busted up parts D6 complication. Step it up to reroll a die on a failed action. Once it exceeds D12, your ship is taken out. So me kind of on that one. But it can wait. Step up a complication related to delaying a needed repair to gain 1 plot point. So the more bust up our ship, more energy could be. But I figured you might like that. The other one is so turn. Do they still make the Komodo class after the war, or do they get decommissioned mainly?
I'm trying to remember.
Give me a second.
It's not clarified at all
Yeah.
in the lore, but the
Okay.
reason why is Komodo was something that they did in the expanded universe, not in the TV show, so it doesn't really get
Oh, it
a
was
lot
done
of
for the game.
yeah, it was
done for
well,
a game, wasn't it?
right. Yeah, well, that's why I said
Yeah.
expanded universe. I was just kind of keeping
Yeah.
it vague at the moment, but
All right. The reason I
Yeah.
was asking is that there's also another distinction here called they don't make these anymore. Your ship's model is old, really old. Still, the fact that she's still flying means that you got a gem on your hand. And there's a lot of advice on the Cortex for fixing her. Still hard to get parts though. The 2 triggers being crowdsourcing repair advice. As long as the ship has Cortex access, the
The
ship's
Komodo is too
engineer.
recent a model for that.
Okay.
It's too recent a
figured.
model for that. And too widely used a model. So,
Yeah.
Fair. It was worth a shot.
because you already took everybody has one.
True.
Okay, so what other distinction do you guys think you want to take on the ship?
That's if we go for a history distinction. What's the other distinction? Customization distinctions.
customization distinctions are a lot easier to figure out because the best starting point question for that is there anything that people really want on the ship? Because either it'd be a customization distinction if it's a thing on the ship, or it would be an asset. And often it could be either. So like as an example, in the customization distinctions, you'll see registered mobile hospital, which is like a super elite version of having like the most medical stuff you could have. And a step down from there is just having an asset, which is like
The med bay.
the med bay, but a ship still has technically a med bay. Usually the med bay asset is like actually having
A decent one.
a decent one, like that has, you know, like multiple beds or rooms. Like, so the one on
Yeah.
Firefly is not an asset.
Yeah,
but
it's built
like-
in.
It's built in, but like the one you see in that episode where they got the one Reaver in the med bay, that looks more like it would be the asset, but it was a big city, so it could have technically also been like a registered mobile hospital too. You never see enough of it to figure out which one of the two it
Yeah.
is.
Well, that was like a moving space station.
Right,
That
which is
go-
why it
that
could have
Alliance
been,
cruiser.
which is why it could have been big enough to actually possibly been a registered mobile hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I feel like a registered mobile hospital would be too large for the size of ship that we're in.
Yeah.
That's
Hydrate.
my thought.
I was like, there's bull in a china shop. You reinforce the 4 of your ships such that she's a weapon all on her own. Who needs guns when you can blow right through an enemy ship like she were paper?
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
Downside is,
Fucking
bit of a gas
ramming
guzzler.
speed.
yeah, pretty much.
I
Actually that's actually one of the triggers, Ray.
What?
I'll come back to that in a second, though. So first one is bit of a gas guzzler. Step back engines for the rest of the scene to gain 1 plot point. Or ramming speed. Take or step up a minor hull damage complication when you successfully ram another ship to step up a complication you just inflicted upon them.
Damn. So you basically take damage to give damage.
Yep.
Now
That
the
nice
reason.
balance.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that nice balance. I was
Yeah,
like,
nice
Yeah.
balance. So when we talk about complications in this game, there are no wounds. There is no hit points. There's no nothing. What we have in this game is complications and opportunities. As the game master, when you guys something bad happens to you, and the game's mechanic wise, whenever you roll a 1, I can choose to give you a plot point and buy that 1, and that 1 becomes a complication. The complications can stack. So, like, if you're in a firefight and you roll a 1, and I say, and whether you succeed or fail on the roll, you're getting the complication. And so, after you do whatever you're going to do and you tell me what you do and everything like that, I can say, you did that, it was perfect, everything worked to plan, except as you were bailing out or moving away or whatever, you got hit in the leg, and you're now, and you basically, so you've got a bullet wound. And so from that point on, I can shoot, whenever you roll another 1, I can choose to step that complication up. And when I step the complication up, it gets worse. And if it gets to 5, you're knocked out of the scene. Now, depending on the scene, that can be really bad, or it can just be inconvenient. There is an ability for characters to continue going even though they're knocked out. They can basically stave off the inevitable, but that is incredibly risky. But it's like, that's like kind of an emergency situation, like I'm the last one standing and I have to stay standing type thing. So, but that's the mechanic for actual wounds. Now, the opportunities are when the GM rolls a 1. And you guys can create opportunities off of that. And the opportunities are things you can add to your dice pool to use against me. And the players create the opportunities, the GM does not. So I think for this game I'm at least going to use the die roller on roll 20. That way, and I'm going to roll because I have to roll my rolls publicly because I'm going to give you the totals that I get. So I'm going to use a die roller and roll 20 for the game, and I'm going to roll publicly, and we'll create I have 2 roll 20 accounts. So I'll create a game for it, and I'll roll the die roll on there. I won't make you guys roll on the die roll if you don't want to, but it's that the best way for me to do this is to do it on there, so so the crowd can see it, and so you guys can see it too. So that'll be how we handle that. So it's a good day to die. Yeah, and you get to choose it too. All right. So who wants to choose to talk? What's the next distinction you guys think you want to throw on the boat?
So we have Komodo class. Did we choose a second one yet? And if so, I did not hear it.
No, we were talking a few. I just found another one that that you guys might think. It's under history distinctions if you want to read it, but it's been around the verse. Your boat has been in service a long while. It's probably had a few different owners and crew in its time, but it's also got a fair amount of charm. The 2 triggers are well loved. Crew members on board may share plot points with another crew member who's operating the ship. Oh, shit. They don't make them like this anymore. Step back the difficulty die when making a fixed roll to repair the ship, but you step up any complications that result.
I feel like that actually functions pretty well, because if we're in the active attempts to grab a ship and we happen to find one that's been overlooked, it probably looks like shit because it's probably been around the verse.
Yeah.
It's got scratches down the hull.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the pieces, you can see the weld marks.
Well, actually,
where it's like something hit it.
If you want to go on that route too, though, there's also one called Former Salvage. She don't look like much, but she was lonely and you rescued her. Watch this. When your pilot tries an impressive maneuver and fails, take or step up a complication relating to the ship's worn-out parts to gain a plot point. Or, what a piece of junk. Spend 1 plot point to create a D8 asset when someone verbally disparages your boat. So think like when people, like, whether it was Simon when he was angry, or I forgot the other person did, but you know how Kaylee got pissed at them for calling Serenity a piece of junk?
Yeah.
Like, if someone does that, you're going to make an asset.
Yeah.
So both those could actually work.
That's my ship. How dare you talk about her this way?
So I do have one thing that I want to mention. With the modular design, we need to have at least one customization distinction, because that's what what we're calling modular design from the Eagle class. It allows us to change out a customization distinction when we want to. So we need to have one customization option here.
Yeah.
Because it's not necessary. Yeah. Because it's not necessary technically to have, as the book is stated, it's not necessary to have one of each different type of distinction. But having one of each definitely helps with the customization. So
I've been looking at the customization. I'm trying to think of what would be a good one that would fit with what we've discussed so far.
So which one are y'all liking more? Do you like the Been Around the Verse or Former Salvage? Because both sound great to me.
I
like
think
the Been Around the
personally,
Verse.
because the way Ray described what we're gonna be doing with having to get it back up off the fucking ground is Former Salvage.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
I can
just
see
pointing
that.
like flavor wise. That makes the most sense
There's
to me.
cobbled together.
And I thought that too. Is that in my head when I think Former Salvage, I think of like the way the Reaver ships look, how they literally are cobbled together.
No, that's cobbled together as a distinction.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah, no.
Oh shit!
This is our lovely little salvage ship that we've put our love and dedication into, and how dare you? No, this is the most beautiful ship in the verse.
Well, I think both Mariana and your character. I'm sorry, I don't remember your character's name right now. Natha. So Mariana and Natha, if anyone ever says anything bad about the ship, that is my son. Don't you dare talk about my son.
It's like, that's my boy. Hold on.
My boy!
So you guys want to go with Former Salvage then? Because Jonathan, what do you think about that? You haven't really spoken on that one.
Well, I was trying to. I'm sorry. I think you guys don't understand probably contextually how useful the well-loved one from Been Around the Verse can be. Because anytime one of the crew members has a situation, you can pass them plot points, which is not a normal thing, which means that...
On the ship, yeah.
Right, on the ship. But, I mean, you're on the ship a good chunk of time. I'm not saying that's all the time, but I mean...
Because that could come in handy, because let's say whether it's Jonathan about to pull a crazy Ivan, or as, rerouting power from, say, lights to engine.
Mm-hmm.
So
here's in the kitchen.
My thing.
Don't worry about it.
We've already customized the class, like done a custom class.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as this is not a traditional, we're not buying this ship. We are, what's the word?
You want?
Sure, we'll go with that.
We're reclaiming it. We're reclaiming it.
Yeah. You want to make another. You want to make another custom distinction using.
I was going to say, because the two that make the most sense. Yeah, taking a trigger from both, because it is salvaged, but it is also potentially a formerly well-loved ship.
We could call it wartime salvage, because I think that's literally where we got it.
I was thinking rush job.
Rush job.
Hey, there we go.
That's a better name. I like that.
I was almost thinking like piece together from the battlefield.
Yeah.
Or that.
Piecemeal?
Oh.
Piecemeal.
You can just call it Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, because didn't Jess put that in the chat?
No, she put a refurbishment.
Oh, my bad.
She's a Frankenship.
Frankenship.
Yeah.
Frankenship.
Yeah. So
we just call
Frankenship.
If we name this thing Frankenstein, I'm calling it Frankie because that's the current name of my current vehicle.
No, I agree with this. I like this name for the ship.
All
in favor of Frankie as the ship name?
All right, Frankie. All right,
Frankie
I like it. Frankie
it is.
All right, so since we're combining Been Around the Verse and Former Salvage, I'm assuming we're taking the well-loved bit so we can, share the plot points as needed, right? And then what do you guys want to take from Former Salvage? The whole what a piece of junk?
What a piece of junk was
that was spend a plot point to make an asset when someone badmouths the ship.
And this way we're taking literally
Well,
it makes sense.
it's on theme. It's like we love the ship, and then we love the ship so much when you badmouth it, somebody's going to say something about it.
Yeah, it's like one of those moments where it's like, no one can talk bad about this except for me.
Yeah, it's like, no. You don't understand. I get... It's like siblings.
Mhm.
I'm allowed to badmouth my little brother, but not you.
Exactly.
When I talk about the med bay being understocked, it's fine. But if you insult my med bay, I'm throwing you off the ship. The airlock
Exactly.
exists for a reason.
But wait, what if I insulted though?
You're free to do so. I mean, people not on crew. You're free to do so because you have to use it as well.
Mhm.
All right. So at that point, then, since we're mainly just doing customized distinctions, do you guys want to do, for customization distinction, do a homebrew one as well? Well, not homebrew, but yeah, I might as well call it homebrew at this point.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of this game is you can do that. You know, you
Yeah.
can cobble together your own distinction using portions of the.
Lissa,
You can
by
even
the way,
write your own distinction.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, on your character customization stuff, on your distinctions, it even states that you don't technically have to use the skills that are suggested within the distinctions. That if you can come up with a reason why maybe having fight over something else would make more sense, clearly it would have to be cleared with Ray. But that is an option. If, say, having, like with my ship, I've got ship's doctor. If I thought that knowledge didn't make sense for what I was trained for, I could swap it with something else that made more sense. Now, it does make sense for me, but yeah, there's an option there. Speaking of customization in this game, for anyone who doesn't know, who's not played this game, who's interested,
but
those are options.
Yes, exactly, Brewhoff.
For those of us who love ignoring instructions, and I say it because the name of this trigger. So it's from Classified Tech Enhancements. There's a trigger called, see that red button? Don't press it.
God.
But okay, hold on. Walk with me here. What if we do?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the trigger. So once per episode, you can randomly choose and step back one of your ship's attributes. For example, let's say we randomly choose engines. It goes from an 8 to a 6. For the rest of the scene, we can step up and double a different attribute of our choice for the rest of the scene. So we step back one of them at random, like, again, let's say engines, but then bump up our hull to like a 12.
No, it said double it.
Yeah, well, it'll be a 10, so I guess 2 10s. Yeah, so 2 10s in that case, I mean.
No. You remember your traits are 8s. So
so after 8, it's a 10.
8, it's actually a 16, which doesn't exist.
Well, it says step up and double.
You step up and then you roll twice as many dice.
Yep.
So it'd be 2
So
D10s.
it'd be 2 D10s.
Just, I actually think that's a fun distinction, but just so everybody understands what it could also do, if somebody was pushing the red button because you're trying to like outrun something with your engines, you have to randomly pick the one that goes down. Like, it's not your choice. So engines could go down, which then means you're allowed to step up either the hull or the systems, but you can't do what you originally intended, which was to step up and double the engines.
Oh, you have to randomly choose which one goes down?
Yeah, you randomly choose which one goes down, and you have to choose a completely... Whatever one goes down, you cannot choose to put it back up.
Fuck.
Hence,
do we need a table? Do we need a roll table for this?
No, well, it's only 3 options.
Yeah,
it's only 3 options? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because all it would be was like, whether it's one of us or Ray, just roll a D4 and re-roll on 4s, and we just do 1, 2, and 3 if we took that trigger.
Gravity goes down.
Oh, God.
So going back to my conversation about magnetic boots.
That's one thing they actually never explained in any of the Firefly shows. How they do gravity.
They do talk about regular gravity and the
because the mules
generated gravity. Yeah. So Kaylee mentions that I just watched this episode today. She mentions that when the what is it called? Like the created gravity, the artificial gravity, when the artificial gravity and the actual planetary gravity kick in at the same time, Apparently, it'll make you very ill. And I was like, I would imagine so, because you're being pulled in different directions all at once, and that sounds absolutely awful. It's when they're being chased. It's when they're being chased by the guys coming after their former like squad member's body.
Yeah.
That has the altar. Yeah. During that flight scene, it was very quick, quick thing. But I was like, I want to remember that.
By the way,
could be useful.
Speaking of gravity,
if the ship has the variable gravity controls, that doesn't happen because it's instead of being like permanent gravity on the ship, like the ship will like adjust the gravity however you want or need it to happen.
Yep.
All right. So what are we doing? So we have done the Komodo, which is the one that has to be taken, and then we've done this one, which is the custom one, right?
It's not a customization distinction, but it's one we made. It is a custom distinction we made.
Okay. And then, so we have one
It's
more
more of a-
distinction to pick?
Correct.
Yeah, because the one we've just made would count as a history distinction.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do this. We've been running around for 2 hours. Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break.
All right.
And we will, because I need to get more to drink, and I need to stand up because my ass is dead. So I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to take 10 minutes, and we will be back. So we'll be back in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you then.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to have to fix cameras real quick.
You're good.
All right.
Yeah.
So Oz had to take off, but this gives me a chance to do something else. I'm going to adjust things for when we only have 5 cameras.
Me?
And so this is going to take me a few moments. In the meantime, while I'm fixing everything, which is going to take a little bit, pardon me, that was rude. So oh, I forgot to add that.
Which I don't think with the layout that it's
Yeah,
gonna
I
work
don't think the
anymore.
layout it works anymore.
Nope.
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't.
Yep, damn. What about from here?
Everyone's all
Now,
trying.
like if Jonathan raises their left arm, it might work.
That's what it looks like for me too.
Okay.
See, for me, Jonathan's like right here with
See, for
me.
me,
Ray is
he's-
here.
Well, we're talking about
Kellen
in the
is
layout.
here, and
In the layout.
Corey, you're in the very up top left corner.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Oh,
There
I
you
thought it was
go.
on mine too. We were talking about in the layout on stream,
Oh,
like with the way that Jonathan and Corey are. Like Jonathan can raise his arm, and then Corey can put his hand down. They would probably recreate that image.
Whoopsie.
Oh.
I don't know how that worked out that well.
it
It really is.
was one of those blink and you'll miss it moments, obviously.
Exactly. And I think we probably all missed it too.
How
except for
did you
Jonathan.
catch it? How did you even catch it, Jonathan?
I tried to say something, but nobody was listening to me, so I was like, whatever. I'll just screen capture it, and I'll move on with my life.
So I sit like this a lot. It's how I sit a lot of the time, or
No,
like this.
see, I do that too. Like, you'll find me doing like this a lot,
Mhm.
or like leaning back in my chair like this, or since I now have the new bed, I've been doing this a lot.
Which you keep doing specifically just this, just one arm, and it looks like you were just barely holding on. Like, put your fingers just on the edge of the bed. It looks like you've done just a little bit different than that, like 5 times, and it just looked like you were raising your hand. And I was like, do they want to speak? The first couple of times, like, do they want to speak, or it's the bed? It's the bed.
So bad.
I bet everyone in chat's enjoying this conversation right now.
All right, so let me turn this other one off. Boop. All right, I gotta remember to change the names on those. All right, so we're back to everyone being in a box.
Yay.
What's in the box?
Us.
Fuck.
But how are we going to think out of the box if we're stuck in a box?
Well,
you
that's
know,
what a spacesuit's for.
You see, I prefer to think outside the bun.
the bun.
And now I live Moss.
Oh my
When we
god.
start bringing in Taco Bell quotes, things have gone horribly wrong. All right, so let's
Or horribly right, depending on your viewpoint.
depending on your opinion of Taco Bell too.
All right.
Like,
All right, guys. One last picture, and I'm done.
One last
Oh
picture.
God!
Uh-oh.
What'd you find? What'd you find?
I'm looking. I'm probably gonna regret it, but I'm looking.
That's the same one.
No,
Yeah, but it-
no, look at the
nothing-
small detail difference.
Yeah. They actually made it look like you're reaching out of your box into his box.
Oh,
Oh. I'm gonna
That
put
is-
these into the actual Discord
Yeah, put-
channel for CT.
Yeah.
Where do you want them?
The Discord. Actually, I haven't made one yet.
It looks like you're trying to stop me from sneezing.
Oh yeah. You haven't made
What it
a
looks like.
Discord channel yet for just this game, just the cast chat for it.
This is only session 0, and I'm already getting memed.
Don't do meme-worthy things then.
That is impossible.
Stop monkey arming all over your screen, and maybe you won't have it happen.
You know, if you weren't trying to push into other people's boundary limits of their personal digital space, we wouldn't have this problem.
That's what you need to capture in that image you took. It's like when you push into someone else's boundary.
Consent, please.
Well, no.
Consent, please.
Actually, no, it's when you break the fourth wall.
Are you creating a new channel for this,
It's already
Ray?
created.
Already done.
All right, I'll throw it in there.
I'm making sure the permissions are set up right.
I think I'm just gonna throw this. You want the original too?
Sure, it's perfect. All right, that's good. All right, I just want to make sure the permissions are set right for everyone.
Nah, I'll say Crypt Walker. It's not monkey see, monkey do. It's just force of habit. I almost did the same thing. I had to stop myself.
Yeah.
I altered the skin tone too on that one so that it would look a little bit more consistent.
So
That's right.
So
Okay.
Corey, I take it you just had a sneeze, huh?
No.
All right, so let's go ahead and finish up with this character sheet for the show.
So I don't know if it would be useful after the first session, but it would be almost hilarious during the first session if the ship came with the biosig security, because then we have to get past that too to get onto the ship.
Is your
Stop
goal to
giving
hurt
the
us?
DM ideas.
What?
Oh no.
It's not idea because then that comes to our benefit later.
Yeah,
So
if
it
Ray
makes
actually
part of
put that
coming
on
like
there
that.
and we didn't buy it, like it comes with biosig security for free, which would just be like a third distinction and crazy. I mean, fourth distinction and crazy.
That's fair.
I don't think you
But-
can have 4 distinctions.
Yeah, because
Well, you're the GM. If you put it on there for us to have to fight and it's still there, it's technically still there.
Technically,
I
that
mean,
starts as a complication, and then it's just a benefit later.
because Bob 6 security. So just a little prick. When someone tries to break into the ship or use the ship's systems or helm without prior authorization, the captain may spend 1 plot point to shut down the system with a DNA not authorized D12 plus complication. Or you have 20 seconds to comply. When someone tries to physically break into the ship or breach interior door, probably my dumbass, spend 1 plot point to activate automated defenses D8 extra Game Master character.
You mean I get to do more fun things if we have this? Because it's specified captain.
Well, that's if we do just a little prank. That's if we take that trigger. But yes. I was like, don't die.
It's allergy season in Georgia. That's my life.
North Carolina, remember?
I know. So you know.
Uh-huh.
well, I mean, what kind of things do you guys want on the ship? Like, even if we don't have the distinction picked, like, what types of things do you want on the ship? Because it'll either be a distinction or it's going to be an asset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like where we were talking about, you know, even if we don't take the what was the actual name? Smuggler's Delight
Excuse me.
distinction, there's still the hidden storage asset.
Which I took as one of my assets.
Hidden storage?
It's one of the let me find it.
If she takes it as her asset, it kind of means like she has access to it, but the rest of the crew wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was gonna
It
say,
might be like a secret cubby and like
would you
her.
like to tell us where on you that hidden storage is? Because I don't think it's going to be comfortable anywhere.
This is why I've been stifling a laugh for a solid 30 seconds. I was like, oh no. Oh
I'm
no,
trying to
I'm
find
not
where
gonna
it
make
is
the joke.
under the
I'm not gonna make it. So
I'm having Who Framed Roger
Other
Rabbit
folks
pop
in
my
the
head
purse.
now.
So for the trader, now I'm gonna scroll down and fucking find it again. Where'd it go? It's under border planets, right?
Yes.
Okay, if
It's a
you
free
don't
damn
mind,
service.
Lissa, after you find that, would you share with us what you plan on your other signature assets being?
So far that's the only one I know because I was going based on like what was like ones that this archetype had. Where'd it go?
I remember there is always
I
the
think I
ability to
scrolled too far.
customize archetypes.
It's
and everything else, so.
page 181, Lissa. It was a
181?
secret. Yeah, secret stash is what it was called for the.
No, I'm
Small-time
looking for
trader.
the archetype page.
Yeah, small time trader.
Yeah.
Yeah,
181.
181. Signature assets, secret stash.
So it's not so much that you have the hidey spot as like you've got personal belongings you have stored away somewhere that only you know about.
Like
So
those
So
special
it
cookies you
focuses
talked
less on
about.
the location and more on the fact that you have hidden goods only you know of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those special cookies you were talking about a minute ago.
You've got a few foodstuffs like tobacco, rice wine, and the like, but you also managed to squirrel away a few important medicines, gems, and other finery too.
Yeah.
So, very specifically special cookies.
So, I'm looking at customization distinctions.
Yeah.
What does anybody think about rotating identification?
What was it called again?
Rotating identification.
Oh, found it. Papers, please. When challenged by an alliance ship, the ship's pilot may spend a plot point to step up or double their trick for one action. If they fail to raise the stakes, though, they step up any complication that results. Or, we're humped. When the captain chooses to have the ship's identification spoofing be discovered, the pilot may step up one big damn hero die.
Just an option. I was just kind of skimming through, and I was curious what it did, so wanted to see
Does
if
it
anyone
only
else.
do that for the for the captain or the pilot?
It just says, well, no. So papers, please is just for the pilot. We're humped is for the captain.
No, where humped is the captain and the pilot. The
Oh, and the
captain
captain and
triggers
pilot,
it.
sorry.
The pilot benefits from it.
Yeah. So like I'm guessing like if we're humped, a situation that would be like let's say we're being hailed by an alliance ship saying like, hey, your ship's unregistered, prepare for docking, and Lissa decides to go
Thank
like
you for following 180200215.
numbers.
We really appreciate it. If you're in the CIA, you have to tell us it's the law.
Oh no, that's one of my my peeps.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I recognize from your stream. That's why I was like, oh, it's
Oh, it's numbers.
It's
Okay.
numbers.
I was about to say, I know numbers.
So like we're humped. It's basically not only would if the alliance doesn't like what we send over as the fake identification,
Yeah.
using this one is further than that. It's the alliance understands that we have spoofing, like they know we're spoofing, which is like a big time crime.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you get a plot point basically to out yourself for a big time crime.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, okay,
I
we're gonna
wouldn't
go
recommend
full burn.
it personally. I mean, like it can be done. I just wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
That's one of the that big damn hero dice. That's for one of those moments where, oh no, we're humped. Like this is a last ditch effort. This is something that we absolutely. This is the only option we have left, kind of thing.
You know, the first time somebody ever triggers that, if we actually had it, they'd be like, "Okay, great. So, now you get a bigger big damn hero dice," and I'm like, "I don't have any big damn hero dice, so it does nothing." And everybody's just gonna look at me like I'm evil.
Oh,
You know, that's fair.
I was like, here's one.
That's fair.
Since we were talking about the whole bit of, everyone has one. Ordinary. Familiarity breeds contempt. Turn one of your ship's assets into a complication of the same die rate to gain a plot point. Or, these ships, they're all the same. Spend a plot point to find exactly the parts you need at a salvage yard, junk shop, or trash heap. The part enters play as a D8 asset.
I mean, that's nice. Mechanically, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because even though it's kind of the same as that everybody has one trigger, it's still not a bad one because it still kind of fit there.
Well, they can still be used kind of almost in conjunction because if you
Actually, yeah, because we can take that asset, then trigger everyone has one, and then step it up again. Or not step it up again, but I mean step it up from a D8 to a D10.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I was thinking of a different one. They're not going to stack because you're not bad mouthing the ship when you do that.
No. Everyone has one, not the other one. Everyone has one with the trigger.
But the second part's where you're getting the step up from.
No, because see, the bad mouthing part was what a piece of junk.
Right, but instead of it being a D8, where are you getting the D10 from?
No. I was talking about like when we made the Komodo class distinction. Everyone has one. When you create an asset or take a complication related to everybody knowing your kind of ship, step it up.
That's what yeah.
With ordinary, that would
be the D10. Potentially.
Yeah,
potentially.
Potentially, yeah, that actually would. Yes, that would stack.
Yeah, When it comes to a piece of junk, yeah, no.
Ray's like, and you fixed the ship in all of 30 minutes of gameplay. So now I have to throw reavers at you.
I never throw reavers at anyone.
Can I have a luck roll? Are there any light machine guns just laying out by an Alliance member's body? Really? Cool.
How many plot points will you give me?
Well, remember. Oh, I was gonna say at that point, remember, as
all but one.
I was gonna say, remember,
it just takes one plot point to make an asset.
Yeah, I was gonna say, remember also
You're
too.
Right.
You and Az left that mule behind that had those heavy machine guns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quite literally.
You say left behind. We haven't gotten to the point where I've seen the mule yet.
I mean,
we haven't gotten there.
Just to give you guys an example, like if we were just like narrating through what could have been some of the stuff here, you know, you could see them all like have the shell bombing happen, and then like let's say you didn't actually want to kill the guy for the uniform, you could have spent a plot point just to have a convenient person who's your size right there to get the uniform off of.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that would create an asset for the uniform, and then you could get across like enemy lines, and somebody could be like, "I don't recognize you. Who are you?" And you could start like patting down the pocket, spend another plot point, and pull out his identicard, and like the image not be good or be messed up from like the
bullet hole through it from where he shot him.
Or the hole through it where you shot it, and so like you're like, here's the card, and you know they're like, okay, well you have an identicard. I mean, like you can sit there and just keep creating stuff as long as you got plot points to fuel into it.
And I would have gone that direction. I thought about just finding a body as I ran. I wanted to deepen the trauma because he's had to kill before, but rarely has he had to kill from like 5 to 10 feet away. Like we're talking guns to each other's head kind of situation. That's
plus also with this being the Battle of Serenity Valley, you knew whether you came up with it or someone else did, there was going to be trauma.
When you say that you've never had to kill from 5 to 10 feet away, I assume that means you're not counting all the medical patients that you let die because it was time for your break and you needed to go back to the hospital break room. And you're like, this surgery is going to take like another 2 hours. Yeah, we're done. And you just kind of like walk off.
I was about to say,
damn, Jonathan.
I don't know that it would have happened. Given his personality.
Jonathan is counting on the Firefly World's medical system to be just like ours.
Oh, yeah.
If you remember the episode when Book got shot, it almost was. If it wasn't the fact that Book had his ident card showing that he was a former high-ranking Alliance officer, they were going to leave him to die.
Yep.
Not to mention
he literally took a shot to the chest.
Not to mention the one surgeon who almost killed the man, made him flatline because he gave him the wrong medication in conjunction with another medication when they went to bring River in.
When they were on Ariel.
Yep.
You know, it sounds like you're using Alliance protocol, which means that you're very likely to apply sedation, but before it completely kicks in, ask them if they have insurance. And when they say no, you'll be like, well, then I guess we'll be doing an Orgus harvesting operation instead. And then they just like fall on the table.
Damn, Jonathan.
I mean, the Alliance are monsters. I wouldn't put it past any of them.
Look at how much faith I have in the Alliance.
To repo the genetic opera.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, between me and Kellen, we could.
Wait. If you want to do that, we should have the like the medical hospital or the med bays on the ship so that we can just go ahead and like bring people in. Give us a request. You're tired. You're lonely. We'll help everyone. The ship starts taking off after we load like 20 patients onto the ship.
Okay, we're not going to be on the Firefly equivalent of Criminal Minds here.
No.
I was going to request for one of the signature assets to be the medical bay, like the upgraded medical bay.
I
that
agree
will
with
be
that.
that would be extremely beneficial with 2 medics on board, and the fact that I can see the potential of us all getting very, very injured.
Yes.
I highly recommend the other one be shuttles.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Shuttles are just good for, it's like, hey, we're gonna keep this shit in orbit. We'll go down and take care of your thing.
Well, it's also too. Let's say we decide to pull a Firefly itself, and maybe we have a companion NPC on board as a legitimate source of income.
Yep. So we went with.
Do we have an actual cargo bay then? Because that's what my character started off as, a trader.
Well, the ship has a cargo bay.
Okay.
Like, it still has it. It's that there was an asset for like cargo where it was like, hold on, like if you want to upgrade your cargo, because just like we were talking about earlier, the Komodo, just like a Firefly, more than likely has a med bay for like simple accidents or stuff like that on the ship.
Yeah.
When we take the asset as med bay, you get the better version of it.
Okay.
The cargo asset is
equivalent.
basically like instead of just having a cargo bay, you run it also like a general store. So like when you land places, you just have a shit ton of stuff that you own as cargo in addition to whatever you're hauling as cargo, so that you can sell things out of your ship in addition to whatever it is that you're going to load and take somewhere else.
Yeah.
To give an example of the med bay, it's very much like when Simon came on. He got what it was pretty well stocked, but he made sure they had everything they needed. That was kind of the equivalent, is the upgrade to the initial med bay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by taking the med suite asset, it basically means that you actually have state-of-the-art medical equipment on the ship. It's not a hospital, but it's like somewhere between what you see in Firefly and being a hospital. Like you actually
it's more like an urgent care kind of center.
It'd be like a MASH unit almost.
Yeah.
Which could be one of the reasons that we chose.
Yeah.
We can say
like
that,
some of the
that you and I
people that we found and we're trying to get out were injured by the shelling.
Well, it also could have been like the Komodo we come across could have been essentially like the Firefly equivalent of a MASH transport.
Yeah.
Well, if it's got shuttles and a med suite as its two signature assets, and then it's got
because the shuttles could be used.
Oh, do we pick the other distinction yet?
No, we have not chosen a third distinction yet.
I thought we were all leaning towards ordinary.
Well, we said, but I didn't know if we agreed on that yet.
Oh yeah, I'm good with ordinary. I just couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if we picked it yet either.
So ordinary was the 2 triggers is familiarity breeds contempt. Turn one of your ship's assets to a complication of the same die rating to gain a plot point. And then these ships are all the same. Spend a plot point to find exactly the parts you need at a salvage yard, junk shop, or trash heap. The part enters play as a D8 asset, which, if we unlock the trigger, everyone has one. When we make that asset as a D8, we actually got to make it as a D10.
Oh, yeah.
So I like ordinary. My only thing I would say before we pick ordinary is if we want the crew to be doing something that's other than basic running goods or related back to the med suite, like we provide medical services to places like go out in the middle of nowhere where they don't really have them. We might want another distinction that gives us a different thing. But if we want to lean into the med suite or basic cargo hauling, then I think ordinary is a great one.
I think ordinary is a good one.
And what we do want to remember is that is a customization distinction. If ever we feel we don't want it, we have the ability to change it.
That is also true because we did take the modular design.
Yep.
Very inexpensively change it out too.
Yeah, for next to nothing. Yeah.
Because it is such a common ship.
So thing is now though, since we have chosen all of our distinctions, is we now need to choose of the 6 triggers, which 2 are we starting off with? I would say personally, just because the way y'all were reacting to it earlier, what a piece of junk would be a probably fun one.
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And then, especially since the way Az has described their character, they are still very new to engineering. these ships are all the same might be a good one too. Just makes it easier to maintain the ship if we end up having to do anything for it. Like after Serenity, I mean. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I was thinking, given the situation in which we are finding it,
Yeah.
Where was it? Nope. What a piece of junk. And modular design. The reason I say that is because we are, as Ray was saying, we're having to piece things together during the scenario, during these series of scenes. I feel like if we're choosing distinctions with certain triggers right now, it should make sense for them to be already kind of predetermined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like modular design and what a piece of junk both make complete sense for us finding a scrap heap, making it work, and then taking it as our own.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Everybody get that?
I say, Jonathan, let's say, what are y'all's 2 cents?
Sounds good to me.
Jonathan hates it.
If anyone has a better idea, I'm 100% for hearing it. Clearly,
I agree. The Komodo has the modular design, but I don't know if we're really going to be doing anything with that anywhere near the beginning. Like, I would almost lean more towards from ordinary. These ships, they're all the same because that's fundamentally basic too. But it ties more into the idea that like that ship is fundamentally like almost any other Komodo. Like, if we've got other Komodos on the battlefield, we're probably just be stripping stuff off of them to put onto the ship anyways, instead of trying to like take out the module and redesign it, which is something we would probably want to do a little further down the road. Like, that's kind of like even more basic. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. Yeah.
Because that one screams like this is the Honda Civic of spaceships.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going with when I mentioned those 2 triggers. So you guys want to do those 2 then?
Yeah.
All right. And now we can write down our assets, which we said was the med suite
and shuttles.
Which I gotta find the med suite. There it is. That's a D8 asset.
Former salvage, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Posture check.
I'm writing. I can't. I have to lean down to write.
Oh.
You know what the worst part about it is? If you have the PDF up with the character sheet up, you can literally cut and paste out of the PDF into the character sheet.
That's what I've been doing.
What do you think I'm doing? I'm just copying and pasting.
Exactly. We are technologically literate enough.
Wait, where?
We know the ways.
I like analog, damn it.
Wait, where is the shuttle?
Look, I like analog too.
In the one I sent. In the one I sent you. Never mind.
No, I'm sorry. I said go ahead.
In the one I sent you, shuttles somehow didn't make the cut, and so you have to look in the core book for it. I don't know why it didn't get copy and pasted into the complete list of the stuff.
All right, cool. Well, I'm already in the ship part because thank God for fast scrolling.
Speed
shuttles, there we go.
Pop.
I was gonna put shuttles DA because there's not really much. There's no triggers or earned. There's nothing special for the shuttles.
Didn't we have that in the other one, Jonathan?
Shuttles? Yeah, we had shuttles in the other one. If there's not a trigger under it, that just basically means that you could create a trigger for them. Like there theoretically can be a trigger for them. There's just not one in the core book for it.
Yeah, personally, I don't think a shuttle really needs a trigger unless we're going to be doing something special with it.
Well, I mean, triggers are always useful. Even if you're not going to have them from the start, they're always useful eventually.
True.
I mean, like, because the shuttle could have a trigger on it that's like from somewhere else. Like the shuttles could have the trigger that came off of the atmospheric one. That like the shuttles are like really good at flying in atmosphere, or you know what I mean? Like you could pull a trigger off of something else to put on the shuttles that makes sense for the shuttles.
That is true.
I mean, or you could create one. You could like make one that's sort of like because the shuttles are small, they don't show up on radar easily. So this is the effect that happens when you're flying the shuttle. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So, is that the last things we need to do for the ship?
Yeah, because we got our 2 signature assets. We've chosen our 2 triggers and our 3 distinctions. We have our attributes. And then we named the ship Frankie, right?
Tentatively.
Are we doing?
Tentatively.
Okay.
If anyone else would like to go with it, I did make the our secondary distinction. I did call Frankenship.
Yeah, that's what I
we
wrote
took 2
too.
different ones. Frankenship. Yeah.
Yep, that's what I wrote that too.
Yep. But tentatively Frankie. It is a Komodo, so I feel like there should be something related to lizards, but that's just me.
I am the Lizard King.
Maybe we
Fucking
paint
lizard
a lizard on the side, like a Komodo dragon on the side, and it's named Frankie.
Yeah, it could be the library we have on it.
The mascot's name is Frankie.
Yeah, or help. Maybe someone adopts a Komodo dragon as the ship's pet.
Komodo
No.
dragons are
I'm joking.
deadly.
Don't worry. I'm joking. Don't worry.
I feel like they didn't make it off old Earth.
Yeah.
Just saying. I don't think they made it off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a whole ton of stuff got off Earth that was.
Well, I was
Earth
gonna say.
that was the name.
If you notice, the only animals we see are cows and horses.
Well, I was gonna
Dogs.
say the only
And
things
dogs.
that actually would have been brought over would be things that would be useful. So cats, dogs, cows,
Livestock.
livestock.
You say that, but have you met people rich enough to own Komodo dragons?
I'm not saying there weren't a few. I'm saying there weren't enough to create a noticeable population.
Not right away. It's been what, 500 years?
Yeah.
Or 700.
It's
in
500.
that range.
It's 500 years from now, roughly.
That's
Well, no
assuming
under
they brought
500.
more than one, though. Or
Okay, so
brought
what
two,
was the
two
two-
that were able to breed.
What were the 2 triggers that we took for the ship?
What a piece of junk! And these ships, they're all the same.
Yep.
Man, it's hard to grab this. Ah, got it. I'm labeling all the boxes. So,
Okay.
all right. So, so I think we got everything done on the ship.
Yep.
And does
Can
anyone
I-
have anything else they need to do in their characters?
Oh, I was gonna ask a question.
Go for it.
Where do you guys think we're going with jobs? Like, what kind of jobs are y'all interested in wanting to try to run once we get together?
I think one of the points of that, Jonathan, is since you're going to be kind of a newish crew and everything like that, I think it's going to be more along the lines of anything to keep you flying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that's
it's
kind
still
of the situation that Mal and his crew were in. They did just about everything.
A
True,
ship will
but
get
I
you.
think
A ship will get you work. A job will help. A gun will help you keep it, and just keep flying.
well, I think what Jonathan and correct me if I'm wrong here, man. But I think what they were implying was like, are we going to be doing literally any job we can find, or are we at least going to have some kind of like code of honor like Mal did, like where once we realize like, oh yeah, no, we can't do this job.
Oh, my guy has a very specific viewpoint on certain ways that
Yeah.
Alliance worlds
Yeah.
do business. So
Like, is that what you're talking about, Jonathan, or?
Slavery.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I just didn't know if
Okay.
like we have a med base. Are we trying to lean into doing some medical stuff since it might be easy, or are we just gonna like run any job that's available? Like, I'm fine with whatever. I just didn't know if there was sort of like a theme to the types of jobs we were gonna try to take, or if we're so desperate to get a job, we really don't even care what it is as long as it doesn't cross a moral line for somebody.
I think in the beginning it'll probably
that
be the
one.
latter.
Probably that one.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
in the beginning it's probably gonna be the latter as we as a crew become more reputable and
Get more assets and
Or
then we
disreputable.
could probably or disreputable, yeah. then we might be more picky about the jobs taken.
I think that does depend on who's looking at us, though, because I will say Clayton will gladly take a job if it means that I'm going to fuck over the Alliance by doing the job.
Same.
That is a massive thing for him. If he can inhibit them, harm them, or cause them any amount of discomfort and pain, he will take the job, with as long as it doesn't breach his other two kind of moral leanings.
I think Mariana, she, like, obviously she's not a fan of the Alliance, especially after her parents got killed by the Alliance, by the shelling. But she is going to try and take a more neutral stance, if ever possible. Because she is a member of the Traders Guild.
Character drama. Very possible character drama. I'm down for it.
Now, one thing I do see about this crew is that, obviously the original crew of Serenity was massively anti-Alliance. All except for Jane, who was...
He didn't care.
Yeah, he was money.
Yeah. He was a mercenary.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what I'm kind of like wondering about is, what do you guys... I mean, you already said, if a job screws over the Alliance, you're more inclined to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys... like... I guess now that's something that would wait for something to happen actually in game.
Is it a question of if we are more pro brown coat?
No. I
No?
think
I'm pretty sure it's obvious. I'm pretty sure it's obvious that most of us are going to have brown coat leanings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could be neutral.
Realistically, I'm guessing where Ray was possibly going with that would be like, again, kind of what I was talking about earlier with those morally gray jobs, like for example, the train job.
Yeah.
Good example. That was a fuck over the Alliance.
Right.
But it also ended up fucking up people. Yep, exactly. Like maybe that's where...
more along the lines of, if it comes down to it, are you willing to literally take down the Alliance?
Yes.
So some of you are and some of you aren't. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think on that one actually.
Yeah, if you get the chance to do something to actually strike out at the Alliance, are you willing to take those risks?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we're the ones that help Simon bust River out.
And speaking from a player, maybe not, because political ramifications of destroying, of doing that. But character-wise, in his current state of mind, yeah.
That's what I got to think on is
just a year out. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I got to think about where like Mitchell's mindset is at this point. Is because the Alliance kind of pretty much took everything from him since he literally tried to kill him after they found out he was someone in his unit was a spy.
Right.
Yeah, but it depends on how Mitchell feels about doing something like that.
And that's kind of what I was getting at with that.
I guess it would.
For Mariana, it depends on what the context of the particular situation
that was going to be the thing. Clayton would want to, but at the same time, if he's part of a crew, he is likely going to take into consideration, what exactly am I doing? Is it going to cause just civilians of the Alliance serious harm, or is this just going to hurt the political structure of the Alliance? That is what would determine that, I think.
That is an awful lot. That's an awful lot of gray to cover in situations that might not give you that much time.
Yeah. Well, if we have to make snap decisions, we more likely will, but it's still like something we gotta think about overall. Because especially for Mitchell, since he came from the core worlds, his family is still alive on the core worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Like he might think wait, how the hell is this going to impact them?
Yeah.
See, I'm from the border planets. and not the wealthiest of border planets. So
yeah.
all I've
Oh,
known is
I just realized I'm the rich kid on the ship.
you
Yeah.
are.
But
You're
you
the
have
rich.
access to those funds.
I'm the
rich
working
kid.
middle class kid.
No, but I meant like my character's childhood would be very different from like Mariana's or Clayton's or
Oh, very different from mine.
all that.
You're
Okay.
fucking teed.
Because Mitchell would literally have had a silver spoon in his mouth.
Oh yeah. That's why I was like, your character has got some of the kind of the
Most
biggest,
to lose.
Not the most to lose. Your family has the most to lose.
True.
You don't have anything to lose anymore. You already gave it all up.
Yeah,
I was
you're
sewing
technically
up-
dead.
I
Yeah.
was
On
sewing up
paper.
mutters by the age of I would think about 12. I was sewing up injured mutters on my moon. So I think we lived very different lives, my guy.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I think
And it's gonna be
that's
interesting.
That's
how,
a guarantee right there.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, it's-
Mariana got to see the wealth disparity.
Yeah. Well, see, it's also gonna be interesting to see like how well I can, how well Mitchell will be able to hide that core upbringing when he's on a border or rim world. Because they're like, it ain't hard to talk like you're from a rim world, and just literally shorten your speech. Doesn't mean that he might have a Freudian slip, so to speak. Which would be
You
kind
don't
of
use
interesting
ain't.
there.
If you don't use ain't where you're supposed to, we're gonna have a problem. You understand me?
If you
By the
have-
way, that is Clayton's voice, and I will be using it the entire game.
And this is Mariana's
how I
voice.
speak.
She's gonna sound like this the entire time too. So
If I was
Corey and I
from-
got this.
If I was from the Georgian system, I was gonna do a very stereotypical Georgian accent, but I'm not from the Georgian system.
Well,
From the Red
okay,
Sun
so-
system. So
Here's the thing. I think because Mariana is from, she's a spacer. She grew up between the core worlds and the border planets and everything. She probably would be very adept at code switching.
100%.
Yeah.
So like when she's talking to the hoity-toities of the core worlds, she drops it and she sounds like this.
She speaks
Oh.
with the BAA, the base American accent,
Yes.
right down the middle.
The standard American accent.
There you go. Yes.
Yep.
She speaks with a standard American accent, and but when she's closer to the border worlds and on the outer rim, she really fucking gets into that twang.
Damn it. All right.
Yeah. Though again, just like I mentioned in previous calls, though, it's still gonna be funny seeing like if just for RP moments, like if any of us do mispronounce a certain Mandarin word, that means something else. Like the example given in the book of how for and die are spelled the exact same fucking way but pronounced differently.
Shin, and Shin.
Yeah.
No, and that's in Japanese.
Oh yeah.
Mandarin, I don't know.
I don't,
It's in
there's
the
a
back of the
pronunciation-
book.
Yeah, there's
Is
a
it?
pronunciation guide in the book, in the core rule book.
Weird.
I will be going over that a little bit.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think we pretty much got everything lined up. I think our session 0 is done.
Sure.
So it's going to be 2 weeks before the next game. So we're looking at starting up on the 20th. So we're going to be streaming this at about 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're going to start implementing everything for the new contest and everything like that. Probably starting on the first stream of next week. So
Okay.
everything else is going to be taking place next week to be the start of all the changes for that. Just trying to think if there's anything else I need to go over right now. I think we got everything covered. It was really,
Yeah.
we were very productive.
Oh yeah. Though Grant, I just saw Jess's comment chat. Frankie, the organic harvest ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's that. Oh, thank you very much, Mrs. Nosy, for cheering. We really appreciate it.
Frankie,
Slytherin.
the harvest shipped, the harvesty ship, you know.
You know,
No,
given that
no,
we have a
no.
given that we have a medical suite,
No,
we could.
you're not going to go around harvesting people.
Oh no, not what I meant. Not what I meant. We could transport things that needed to be like held in a medical facility, such as these rim worlds need this. The Alliance has this. Hmm?
We are not
Even if
harvesting
it-
Alliance organs.
Ray, are we gonna have the ethical episode where there's like 9 people dying on the ship, and one person who's mostly healthy could be harvested to save the other 9?
Stop
Or
giving them
could just,
ideas.
like-
Are they an Alliance member? Because it's not a question.
So, moral great
Rogue
grams
surgeon,
are
man.
not going to be a thing, are they?
Apparently not.
Yeah, that's not going to.
Well,
yeah, this
not
is
not
gonna
the
be great.
Alliance is involved at least.
There's
At least
a
not the
quote.
Alliance is involved.
There's a quote that I love from a TV show
What?
that states, "Morality is not black and white. Sometimes when you're at a party, someone will think they're highfalutin and say, it's gray areas. That's not the reality. Morality is a strobe light, going black to white depending on the situation you're in." And I've always loved that quote because it all depends on your circumstances to where you stand morally on a subject.
I mean, Shansu said it. If you want to see the truth of a man, hold him out over an active volcano.
Now you're just quoting the Firefly episode.
It was, but it was actually Shansu's quote, and it was from
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
but it's like a quote within a quote.
Yep.
It's very meta.
I was meta as all hell.
Oh, I am. If anyone thinks that I will not be
Oh God, we have a
really
repo.
going meta.
We've generated a repo the genetic opera quote in chat.
Of course, numbers.
What was the quote? I'm not watching.
It's actually a clip of the song.
Ray brother, tell me why I even bother.
And of course, put the voice modulator on for that one.
Oh boy.
Oh.
All right, folks. Well, thank you guys so much. This has actually been a really good time. For a session 0, this was slightly incredibly entertaining. Thank you. Lissa, where can folks find you on the wild webs?
You can find me on social media as Geek Girl Lissa. He just dropped my link tree in there as well. On Monday nights, you can find me on twitch.tv/nerdworksmedia. Tuesdays in the middle of the day, because half the group is in the UK, you can find me on twitch.tv/Dead Bard Society. Obviously, now every other Friday, you can find me here. Thursdays, you can find me, depending on Crystal's situation, because her mother's got cancer. On YouTube under the Aries Studios channel for Two Geek Girls. And on Saturdays, I am behind the scenes just making sure Chris and Pat don't explode their stream on the same location. I'm the producer there.
Gotcha. Excellent. Thank you very much. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me on TikTok at the Hipster Viking, spelled like it sounds, all one word. That's really about it right now. I'm working on a couple other socials for that with the shutdown of with me not being on Twitter anymore. That doesn't exist, but working on that there. If you follow me there, if you want to see D&D, Critical Role, and some mild cosplay content.
Yep. And follow him there for so you can see that when one of his Critical Role predictions comes true, you can see him do his little victory dance.
Oh, every time. Every time. I haven't, it's too early in the season in this campaign for me to make anything big, but 2 of them that I made so far have been right. Yep.
Excellent. And Kel, where can we find you?
So you guys can find me on Twitch and here on TikTok, or wow, backwards. On TikTok and here on Twitch at the Celtic Wyvern King, all one word. Hopefully, I can get a stream schedule going because I am trying to hit affiliate here on Twitch. I am currently at 26 or 27 followers out of the 50. And I mainly just need the average viewers. That's what's killing me.
Yep.
Yeah, but stuff on there because I'm going to try and do it was like Tuesdays I've reserved strictly for like playing Destiny because we got our weekly reset. Thursdays maybe I'll do Red Dead or some other game. I'm going to try and figure like actual like days for specific stuff.
Yep.
But other than that, you can find me in the chat just being a chaos gremlin, whether it's here on any of Ray's other shows or over at ADH Adventures, just being in chat, having fun watching.
Absolutely. And Jonathan, as always, thank you for showing up. Thank you for helping with all the fucking rules questions and everything like that. Jonathan is our library, living encyclopedia of games. He picks up rules like no one's business, and he's amazing at making people actually understand those rules. So you have always been a huge boon to the show, Jonathan. I really appreciate it, and I am fucking this thing up really bad.
Fucking what thing up?
I'm trying to fix. I'm just gonna put it back. I was trying to fix some text, and it just kept on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It was scary.
And also, Pupper.
Pupper, where? Oh,
Corey's
Pupper.
screen.
Oh, wait.
He's Pupper.
And a kitty.
Hey, kitty. None of my animals will come near me. So, and if you guys want to follow Dinner and a Game socials, you can find them here in our link tree. Remember, if you follow us here on Twitch, you will automatically be entered to win this set of D&D core books. We're looking to give this away when we hit 1,000 followers on Twitch, and right now we're sitting at 700, and where did I put my screen? 741. So we are well on the way to getting to that 1K goal. If you want to help us out, you can share out the link to our stream. You can tell the people about it. You can invite people to come watch. Because remember, as we do the streams, we also have other things we do, such as we give you the information about our TikTok. And on our TikTok, we're giving away this, which is a 3D printed Wizard's Tower. 4 stories tall, about 9 inches wide, about 12 inches tall total. It comes apart, each layer lifts off. There's staircases inside that get you up from one layer to another. The front door opens and closes. There's a hatch in the roof that opens up. And you also can break this all down, like the wall sections come off and everything like that. The floors come apart. And you can store this in a high-top shoebox. It gets that small. We'll be giving this away when we hit 1,000 followers on our TikToks. And our TikToks is at 908. We picked up one while we were in the show. 908 followers, so we are almost to 1K. Any help you give us will be greatly appreciated to reach that goal, whether it be just following us or actually going out and sharing our information or helping people know about us. I'll make another video about the tower this week and see if we can get that capped off to the 1K mark.
I think between the three of us, we could probably push that a little bit.
Yep. That would be lovely. Thank you very much.
The 4 of us that are in the stream, but yeah.
Yeah. And, also, I almost forgot because she left. Oz had to leave because the storm in her area was getting really bad. But if you want to follow any of Oz I Was's content, this is her TikTok where you can find her content where she makes incredible videos. She's an excellent cosplayer and she does a lot of TTRPG content as well. So please give her a follow as well. Now, as usual, end of the stream, we try and find someone to raid. Let's see who's that. Well, there's a lot of people up tonight because it is a Friday night. Anyone have any recommendations?
Let me look at. Let me see if I have anybody on.
Yeah, like no one's on. And my
people are on. Yeah, none of my guys are on.
I've got plenty of people on. Let me see.
Mind you, I follow a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7,
maybe 14 people, and most of them are just friends who stream on rare occasion.
The Welcome In is on.
Fractal Zion's on.
What does Fractal Zion do?
I don't remember. Apparently, they're currently playing. I don't know if this is the game though. Like the video game.
Oh.
And there, of course, is a fucking ass. It looks like it might be the video game. Never mind. So let me see.
Yeah, Twitch is really loving their ads.
I'm trying to find someone who is specifically doing tabletops of some sort.
Yeah. No, nothing for TTRPG. How about D&D?
Yeah, because I would have said Vampire Touch In, but I think they went offline like an hour ago.
Yeah, they're a little bit sooner than us. I don't know any of these people. Wow, I've never. Usually we have lots of people we can raid, but
A trans tiefling's on, so
Oh.
Nick the tiefling.
there we go. Ultimate Chicken
Here.
Horse.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I know she's doing her thing.
Let's go give them a raid. It's always nice to raid someone who's got a small audience for the night. We give them a nice little bump, and we tell them we love them. We tell them hello. So if you want to, please, ladies and gentlemen, go give them a follow. Small creators, that's our lifeblood. You know what I mean? I love getting subscribers. It helps pay the bills. I love seeing people give us gifts, give us bits. It helps pay the bills. But in the end, we need followers to make sure we get our content out there. So if you can give this creator a follow, that will be greatly appreciated. And we're going to go in there with a raid, so let them know Dinner and a Game sent you. Remember, at Dinner and a Game, we always save you a seat at the table. If you're going to have to go out, please wear a mask, social distance. There is another surge. It's not as bad because a lot of people have done the right thing, but it's still bad because a lot of people have also not. So do your best to do the right thing and make sure that you stay safe so you can join us next time on